Can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay. I don't know what that was. Everything's connected, right? But give me 1 second. I just need to make sure I have the right speakers connected. Okay. And make sure there's not going to be echoes. I think we're good. I think it's, I have no idea why you guys could just blame it on TikTok Studio. Who knows? Every time I open it, there's something else that seems different than the last time I opened it. So I have no idea. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Awesome. Tap the screen. Let's get to 50K. It does feel TikTok's. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. I think you guys can hear me still? Okay. Just making sure. I can hear my. For a second, I couldn't hear myself in my ears, but now I can. So let's just assume everything's fine. It's just the normal. Every time I restart TikTok Studio and download updates, something is different, literally. At least it's working. Hi, it's Thursday. I know. It's actually just like a bodysuit. It's amazing how just some sheerness can make you look. I was looking at myself. I was like, it's because I never dress up. I was like, I look like I'm going to a wedding or something. Like for me, this is like me looking nice or something. I feel like I should have a blazer on. Come going to an interview. That's the best thing about not working in corporate America is no longer ever having to dress for it. Okay, give me 1 second to do my super chat goal on YouTube so that I can see the chat because I can't see it yet. And then we will get this absolute S show started. We've got grown men who are billionaires who all are getting tax breaks with our tax dollars. Elon Musk already gets $8 million in welfare a day from our tax dollars, and they are screaming like children and complaining that they don't have enough. I mean, if this isn't infuriating to you, I don't know if you guys have thought about it that way, but it makes me it's infuriating that this is how selfish these people are. Get 1 second.
You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers. You know that paper is more sophisticated now than computers.
Oh my gosh, I thought I couldn't hear again. I'm going to literally take a typing class. When I played volleyball, I like shattered my hand. Then my right hand, they put screws in it. It just never moved the same. Like one of my hand types like in the correct form, but then the other hand was doing something else. It's not good. It's really not good. Okay, and just need to pin this. Thank you guys so much. Tap the screen, share the live. We have 227 people in here. That arrow in the bottom right hand corner, if you would just click on that and then share the live with like 5 to 10 people. If you don't have anyone to share with, just push the copy link button and that counts. I think, God, I'm so like this is one of those days where I have like 3 presentations because like I had a plan and I'm actually, I don't know how to put this. I'm not impressed by what I've seen this morning, but of course I covered it. So we have like 3. I could talk about immigration for the rest of the week for like 6 hours a day and we could never cover it all. Or I could talk about congressional hearings, or we can talk about Trump again, embarrassing us all. Every time I see like a chancellor or a president or a prime minister is coming, I'm just, here comes some sort of absolute embarrassment. Did you see the look on the German chancellor's face? It's like if he could have had just a bag of popcorn, like he was ready. He knew something horrible was going to happen in there. He just didn't know what it was. You could just see him like, what the? He was just like, I'm not part of this. I'm not part of this. I'm not part of this. Like, I can't even, these people, it's like a freak show going to the White House. Literally. You know what I mean? I bet like world leaders talk about it like, oh, you've got to try it. Like, it's the absolute craziest, like, everyone's doing it. It's like a joke to show up there. And then he tried to like shit on Angela Merkel. Oh my God. It's just the shame I feel being part of this country. And like, and also then the fact like I'm on X and can somebody help MAGA? Oh my God. It is funny watching MAGA pick sides in this divorce, though. I will say, if there is a silver lining, watching MAGA choose whether to live with mommy or the other mommy, orange mommy or sad, pathetic mommy who feels like he didn't get his NASA space chief and his EV tax credits. Like, it's hilarious watching MAGA try to take sides, or like the real ones who are in a cult and they're like, well, I hope we can all work this out and like stay in this cult together. Like, can't they stay together? No, people are really watching some MAGA being like, hey, we can all work this out. They are, the cognitive dissonance on X is terrifying. Plus, that's like Elmo's terrifying. Oh, and Jared Moskowitz called Space Karen Elmo like twice in a hearing, and I was like, thank you. I'm not the only person that calls him Elmo. Okay. I do have so many good clips too, because I did do what I said. Like I was saying, okay, I'm going to clip everything from Congress. Much debating the big beautiful bill yet as they are. I mean, they're yelling about it on the Senate floor and they're like screaming about the tariff stuff, but I don't even think we've started like the Senate debates. I haven't really started yet. They're like screaming at Russ vote and all sorts of things. So I have a ton of clips from Congress, but let's start with the divorce heard around the world. It looks like Elon and Trump may be breaking up, which who did not see this coming? I'll tell you this because I was raised by a malignant narcissist. My mother has no friends. Like, I don't know how else to say it. And it's not because she wants them and can't maintain them. She doesn't want friends. Like, if my mother is around someone, it's because they're, she's leveraging them. Or like me, like my mother likes me. I mean, quote unquote, but like to my mother, I don't exist. I'm an extension of her. So my accomplishments, whatever I do, that's her living through me. So I don't know how anyone ever thought that these two were going to hang out together and it was not going to end like this. I mean, that's what I wonder. I do think for Elon, like, especially watching him, this is like a pressure campaign. I think if all of a sudden those EV tax credits are in the bill, if whatever that Jared Isaacman is, in charge of NASA again, he probably will back down. I don't know what else he's doing besides that. And I guess we'll see if Trump always chickens out or not. This is the weirdest game of chicken I've ever seen. Okay, so I did record. God, why did I have to? Okay, hold on. I've got to turn the air down. It's kind of humid. It's been so humid in Arizona the last couple of days. Just let me turn the air down a couple of degrees and then we'll get this started. Okay, better. Much better. Hopefully, it will not be so humid in here the whole time. Okay, I think so. I just recorded the meltdown in the Oval Office right now, and then I don't know if I don't suggest anyone be hanging out on X, but after Trump did his whole, 10-minute attack on Space Karen in the Oval Office, Space Karen has been posting like every 5 seconds on his X page some insult, or he's dredging up like tweets of Donald Trump's from like 2012 and being like, what about this, you hypocrite? Like, it is like, I don't know if you guys know, I think someone counted once and he posted like 300 something times in 1 hour. And this is like the clip Elon Musk is posting and reposting at. I've never seen something like this in my life. And all his like weird sycophants are helping him, making posts about Trump being a hypocrite, and then he's reposting them. an absolute meltdown on X. I find it hilarious. It'll be so interesting. I think Trump does usually chicken out. So it depends on how far they're going to take this. Like, it's mutually assured destruction. I'm sure they all have information that they could all end up in jail for. It's just a matter of who wants to go to jail at this point, I think. Do I need to update any goals before we start? Okay. So I think there's like 5. Oh, yeah. Let me update the gift goal. I think there is like 5 clips of Trump attacking Space Karen while that chancellor just sat there like, please, God, can I get out of here? Which, who wouldn't want to be there for that? Actually, he should be. That's one of at least it wasn't him. Like 2 other people, it was them. At least it was the only thing Trump did was start attacking like Angela Merkel about immigration. Okay. So let's play the clips of what Trump just did to Space Karen while the Chancellor of Germany sat there and was like, what the F is happening to me?
It's an achievement, actually.
Mr. President, can I follow up on the auto pay?
Thank you, Mr. President. The criticism that I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen, regarding Elon Musk and your big, beautiful bill, what's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which, of course, what is you're seeking?
Well, look, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. It's the biggest cut in the history of our country. We've never cut. It's about 1.6 trillion in cuts. It's an achievement.
Notice that like Trump cannot help but lie. Like, he physically cannot help but lie. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say over 10 years, there's like 1.5 trillion in cuts, but he can't just say that, right? Like, he cannot just say the actual number. Like, he's gotta exaggerate a number every time. And that's over 10 years. There's 1.5 trillion in cuts. And the problem is that doesn't begin robbing the poor, taking healthcare away from people, stealing from poor people, doesn't begin to cover his tax cuts. That's what the problem is. Like, it's fascinating though that he can never just, what the number is. Just say the number. Stop lying. Oh yeah, God, it just got so awkward in there. I bet I cannot imagine what the press was thinking when they were sitting there.
He wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And I can understand.
It's talking about Jared Isaacman, right? This is the guy he wanted to be in charge of NASA so he could manipulate him and then waste all the money going to Mars or whatever. And it was rumored. I didn't really talk about this because I didn't care, but it was around the time, the black eye happened or the day before. And it was rumored there was a bunch of fighting going on. Trump was mad. And that's why whatever his name was, Jared Isaacman, was out as like the NASA chief or whatever the F he was going to be. And I guess Trump's alluding to the fact that it's that, but it's also other things as well.
He wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And I can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon.
Remember that during that weird ass meeting that we all watched together on the People's Receipts, that Trump said, thank you for the gum. Trump said that he didn't know where the black eye came from. Now the story's different. Now Trump is saying, I tried to get him to cover it up with makeup. Remember when Trump was like, oh, X did that? Like, yeah, if you knew X, that could have happened. And now the whole story, this is the point. Like, MAGA, if you lie about these stories, everything is a lie with these people, right? Which one is it? Either you were lying to us all then, or you're lying now. And MAGA's like, I just love Trump. He's so amazing. He's a liar. Just right here in this moment. Which one is it? And so is Space Karen. They're standing there. The guy has a black eye. The Daily Mail's saying a 62-year-old economist punched him, allegedly. I don't know, whatever. That's also being rumored. That's rumored to have happened on Capitol Hill blogs. And then they're pretending. Remember, Space Karen said, I told my kid X to punch me in the face, and he punched me. And now the story is that Trump tried to get him to cover it up with makeup, and he wouldn't.
You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. And even with the black eye, I said, do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup. But he said, no, I don't think so, which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon.
How this is going to help any of their causes either. I have no idea. Like, if this is a scorched earth move, I probably would have waited till after this bill situation was resolved before doing this. And it goes on.
He knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. And he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape, he said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
And by the way, yeah, I saw someone say like, oh, Elon's latest post, which one of the 600 he's posted in the last 2 hours are you talking about? I mean, he's literally posting something about Trump multiple times in 1 minute. I took a lot of screenshots of them. One of the things specifically that seems to be angering Space Karen is this clip. And he responded to this clip and was like, that's a lie. I never saw that bill. I never knew what was in there. Because Trump's like, oh, he read the whole thing. He knew exactly what was in it. And one of the things that Space Karen seems to be very adamant about is no, I effing didn't. So I don't know. I mean, depends on which liar you believe. They're all liars. Like, you can't believe any of them. These are just a bunch of pathological liars who are stealing from us, stole all of our data, are stealing our tax dollars. And understand that this is an argument between billionaires of how to divvy up our tax dollars while robbing us. That's what we're watching. We're watching the richest man in the world and some malignant narcissist who's president of the United States and a grifter screaming at each other over who gets the spoils. This is sickening. Thank you for the headphones. Oh, and this is the best part. Remember that day where he had two hats on or whatever, Space Karen, at that scary cabinet meeting, and one said like Trump is always right or something? Yeah, I guess Trump is trying to say that's evidence that he's right.
Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill. We call it a great, big, beautiful bill because that's what it is. And again, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest economic development moves anywhere. We've never done anything like it. Business is spurred. And I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but the numbers. Look.
He has the Chancellor of Germany sitting next to him while he's screaming and in a fight with the richest man in the world, while the Chancellor of Germany is just sitting there like watching a tennis match, like, can I please get out of here? Like, we should all feel embarrassed. And again, this, like, the big, beautiful bill is another example of MAGA not being able to read, do math, or figure out what the F is going on. We are being robbed, literally, through this bill, and they're just like, well, the bill rhymes. It's an alliteration. It makes sense to me. Like, that's as far as MAGA has thought. We have two billionaires arguing over who should steal more of our tax dollars. Where should the subsidies go? Not to poor people, not to children who need an education and who need school lunches, not to Job Corps, not to anything that matters, not to cancer research. But which billionaire gets to steal our tax dollars? We are in a nightmare.
Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office, and he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this one. I was telling the Chancellor, this is where it is. People come in here, even from Germany. They come in and they walk into the Oval Office, and it's just a special place. It's, World War I, it started and it ended here, and World War II, and so many other things. Everything big comes right from this beautiful space. It's now much more beautiful than it was 6 months ago.
World War I and World War II came from the Oval Office. This is how I know MAGA's brains don't work, because they think this guy's brains work. I cannot wait. Please let's do investigate Biden's senility so we can really get to the insane person who's not thinking. Like, if we're going to go down the slippery slope of who's not sane while being president, I accept the challenge. I have all the clips. I accept the challenge. Please, let's do it. Let's decide who's a bigger idiot.
A lot of good things are happening in this room. And I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly. And some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it. But we have it with others, too. They leave, and they wake up in the morning, and the glamour's gone. The whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it, and you'll let us know. Yeah.
Mr. President.
Someday you'll write a book about it and they let us know. Again, definitely, just as long as we're listing the way I know MAGA's brains don't work, the way they think, like, talk about Trump derangement syndrome. If anybody can read or do basic math and knows that Trump is wrong, a liar, an idiot, or whatever combination of the three, guilty, maybe there's four, that they automatically, that means someone has Trump derangement syndrome. Not that they can read, follow lines of logic, do basic math, nothing like that. That's just another way I know that MAGA's brains are inoperational at every turn. And I said this yesterday, like, I'm not too impressed with Space Karen, but compared to Trump's brain, his is immaculate. Like, I mean, truly, if we're looking at two people and whose brain is working, it's definitely not Trump's. Trump is known for not being able to read. Oh, Steph, thank you for the super chat. You think their fight would be viewed the same way if they were both women? Oh, can you imagine? They'd be like, this is so unprofessional. They're hysterical. They must be on their periods. Can you imagine? And this is what I tried to explain to men. This is emotional. What your experience is, two men having temper tantrums, having a meltdown. This is like two rich toddlers fighting over who gets to steal what. And MAGA thinks this is cool. They can't figure out it's you they're stealing from. You should be really pissed off about this. Literally, two toddlers, like, who's going to steal more of the American people's tax dollars whilst we take Medicaid from the poorest, steal Medicare, leave people to die, don't educate people, deny people school address, don't cancel Head Start, cancel Job Corps. Oh, didn't you want people to work, but you're canceling a job program that gives people, lower income people, upward mobility? That's super weird. Oh, and here's the EV mandate. You gotta love this. Oh, wait, let me get this. And hold on a second. Where is my clip of this? Or did I play it? No, I didn't. This is my favorite one of these. Hold on. Let me find my clip. Oh, here it is. Wait, is that yeah, this is it.
All of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy.
And quite honestly, I don't have to agree with Space Karen. I think he stole a bunch of our data. I think if you can do math, you understand that Doge was just a data grab. It has nothing to do with saving any money. And what he's done, the damage he's done is going to cost us much more money than he actually saved us when you look at the line items. Again, that's if you can do math. So MAGA's outside of that. But the truth is, EV, it's in terms of tax credits for people who use things like electric vehicles or, let's say, have solar panels. Yeah, I think, Space Karen has businesses, capitalistic businesses that are in those industries, but we still need to move to clean energy. That's why he got in those businesses, because they're the future. And Trump, the truth is, the reason he cut out the EV mandates, I think always he was going to throw Elon under the bus. That's the thing about malignant narcissists. There's not room for two people to be number one in their minds. There's only one God. So I do think he was probably always going to throw Space Karen under the bus. But if you look at where that money's going, it's going to big oil. He was bribed by big oil to hate wind, to hate solar, to hate electric vehicles, right? And now he's paying them back. There are so many subsidies for big oil and tax credit and all sorts of things for the big oil industry and the billionaires in that industry that supported him. So I do understand, Elon Musk can be worried about his own business, but we should all be worried. The incentives to move towards electric, that is the future of our country. It's more efficient energy, cleaner energy.
Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's been, I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary. That hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, he recommended somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA, and I didn't think it was appropriate. And he happened to be a Democrat, totally Democrat. And I say, look, we won. We get certain privileges, and one of the privileges, we don't have to appoint a Democrat. NASA is very important. We have great people. General Kane is going to be picking somebody with our, we'll be checking him out and seeing, but he wanted that person, a certain person, and we said no. And, I can understand why all of the things that we're doing, nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Anyways. Wait, sorry, I left the presentation because I didn't. I was like, this is not the order of my clips. So anyways, that's what happened. Well, actually, let me go back to the presentation and remember the order I want to show this in. And hopefully the cloud will update because, oh no, it did. Awesome. Okay, it's all here. Sorry, I've been adding, I told you, Elon's been posting hundreds of times in the last 2 hours. So not that I did not screenshot all of them because that's ridiculous, but just the important one. So I need the cloud to update, but it did. Let's see. Okay, that was the EV one. I guess one of those is less important. I just want to show you what more embarrassing thing Trump was doing. So this guy, the Chancellor of Germany, thinks he's here to I don't know what, do diplomacy, not be sitting there listening to two billionaires fight over who gets to take more from poor Americans while he sits there. But listen to, Trump had this exchange that was so embarrassing. I don't know if you heard in one of those clips, he starts being oh, this is the office where World War I and World War II was planned or something. I mean, it's just ridiculous how little Trump knows about anything. And then here's it awesome. Mertz was oh yeah, tomorrow's the D-Day anniversary, and Trump was pretty oh yeah, that's a really bad day for you guys. And he's no, that's when we got independence from the schmucks. It's this is our president.
June 6th, tomorrow, this is D-Day anniversary, when the Americans once ended a war in Europe. And I think this is in your hand in specific, in ours.
That was not a pleasant day for you?
No, that was not a pleasant.
This was not a great
in the
day.
long run, Mr. President, this was the liberation of my country from Nazi dictatorship.
That's true. That's true.
And we know what we owe you. But this is the reason why I'm saying that America is again in a very strong position to do something on this war and ending this war. So let's talk about what we can do jointly, and we are ready to do what we can. And you know that we gave support to Ukraine, and that we are looking for more pressure on Russia. The European Union did, and we should talk about that.
We will.
And I don't know. Trump was like, oh, yeah, that's true. You don't know anything. I can't even imagine. I can't tell you how many times Trump's like, we won World War II. Yeah, read a book. It would be my advice to you if you think America won World War II. We barely had anything to do with it. Like, hey, I don't love Russia, but the Eastern Front is where all the battles were fought. I mean, the brutalist, the most casualties. Okay, sorry, I'm just making sure I'm checking. Trump's melting down on Truth Social, so I'm just making sure. It's sad. It's sad what's going on. Okay, so I'm just going to show you now. I have so much to show you, but I'm going to show now, like, oh, actually, let me show you this funny video too, because we do need to laugh. This is an embarrassing day in America. And whilst I'm like clipping all these things, I have to give credit to the algorithm. If it wasn't for Space Karen's algorithm, I never would have found this video. So thanks. This is a video someone made. It's called Trump Breaks Up with Elon. Thank God. This is hilarious.
My dearest Elon, I couldn't sleep last night because I know that it's over between us. I'm not even mad, by the way. I'm actually very happy. One day maybe we will meet once again on Mars with Baby X and our Doge. I'll smile at you happily and remember how we spent our summers holding hands on the White House lawn as you gently fed me French fries. Learning from each other and growing in love. The best love is the kind that is very loving, that makes you think, wow, that's a lot of love, and that's what you've given me. You'll always be my little Jimmy Neutron, even though you have the body of an igloo. I'll never forget your brain blasts. I love you. I'll be seeing you, Trump.
Sorry, that's hilarious. None of this is funny, and we should be very humiliated that this is our lives, but it is kind of funny. Okay, now I want to show you some of the things I posted or clipped from, Space Karen's meltdown online. I mean, there's so many good ones. I hate being on his X because I've never seen someone post a clip like that. It gives me anxiety. It's like you can find something like his latest post. If you leave and come back 5 minutes later, you can't find it again because he's posted so many things that it is literally gone. I can't stand it. I've never seen someone post like that in my life. Okay, by the way, well, first of all, I just point out because I love I was going to say his name wrong. Yashar Ali, the journalist, and he was like, Elon Musk has unfollowed Stephen Miller. And I didn't quote like other people's comments, but other journalists are like, yeah, thruples never work out. Like, it's so funny. What did Stephen Miller do? I mean, besides being absolutely horrid. Like, I find this hilarious. Just some examples of what Elon's posting. Whatever. Keep the EV solar incentive cuts in the bill, even though no oil and gas subsidies are touched, which he's right. And it's not just that they're not touched, that they added more. He's right about that. Trump owes oil and gas a lot, obviously, for all their bribes. And honestly, I don't like Space Karen, but if we're going to be giving subsidies for anything, it should be for clean energy. Sorry, but that's the facts. Like, yeah, let's give subsidies for clean coal. That makes sense. Very unfair. He's crying because it's unfair. But ditch the mountain of disgusting pork in the bill. That's poor people's, that's poor people having health care, by the way. In the entire history of civilization, there has never been legislation that's both big and beautiful. Everyone knows this. Either you get a big and ugly bill or a slim and beautiful bill. Slim and beautiful is the way. Then he's posting like, he's like commenting on Trump's tweets from like 2012. No member of Congress should be eligible for re-election if our country's budget is not balanced. Deficits not allowed. And Elon Musk is like, I couldn't agree more. Breaking. And like he's reposting the national debt. Then this is what I told you about when Trump said that thing about he's very disappointed with Elon and Elon has read the whole bill and he liked everything in it. He said, false. This bill was never shown to me even once and was passed in the dead of night so fast that almost no one in Congress could even read it, which, I mean, a lot of the Republicans in Congress cannot read. But if they could, I do agree that there was not enough time because I watched Democrats scrambling to get it read and like all of their staffers like breaking up, the amounts of pages so they could figure out what it said. Oh, this is another repost. Elon continues to mount the high school pressure campaign and he reposted it. Like, that's what I'm saying. These are like toddlers, right? I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. This is something Trump said in 2013, extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am embarrassed, which that's interesting. Trump was claiming to be a Republican in 2013. He was already preparing to run for president. So that's hilarious. No member of Congress should be eligible. Oh, wait, I showed that one. The Trump administration should recognize Elon's point about the budget and build a bridge with him and the majority of Americans who want to see us cut spending. Elon just responds, exactly. Then these are all his sycophants, by the way. If you ever have seen his X page, it's not like these are random people. These are like his Reddit mods or his for real. I fully agree with Elon. I simply hope this doesn't create long-term damage between Elon and Trump. Oh, do you guys remember this? Elon's reposting this and saying, remember this at Real Donald Trump? Remember when Trump did a car commercial for him when Tesla sales were tanking? And Elon Musk is literally reposting that day and being like, hey, remember when we were friends? Nothing unbelievably embarrassing about this. No, someone said, could this all be a show? No. Elon wants what he wants his EV mandates in the bill, right? If people don't get tax credits and things and subsidies for buying electric vehicles, then he's going to lose a lot of business. I think that's what he's truly worried about. And more importantly, he feels betrayed by Trump, I think. Right? I mean, he, quote unquote, a 62-year-old economist, may or may not, I don't know, if you believe what people are saying, gave him a black eye. And Trump was like, okay, bye. This is what Trump does. Like, it was never going to last forever. I think also Elon wanted to like stay through, and I recorded a lot of clips. After we get through like Elon's complete meltdown online, I'll show you some clips. Like, a lot of people are speculating. Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think after he didn't want to have to leave, like he feels pushed out. I think it's a combination of a lot. Man, this guy would win in a landslide. Look, they're posting all of his everything he posted in 2011, everything Trump posted in like 2011, 2012, 2013. It's scary. Obama and the Democrat Senate have accrued over $5 trillion worth of debt, which wasn't even true, without passing a budget in the last 3 years, 4 more years, right? Like, they're saying at one point he claimed to be a conservative. No, Trump's a grifter. Like, always has been, always will be. Without me, and this is where it gets weird, Elon starts implying that without me, Trump definitely would have lost the election. And people are like, hey, maybe you should tell us more about what you did to make sure Trump won the 2024 presidential election. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. I don't know what he's saying. Maybe he should tell us more. Oh God, I don't even. Let me skip this because this is another dumb thing that Trump said while in the Oval Office, and okay, and then we'll come back to that. And I just want to show you. This is why. Well, if you want to talk to me about why I think Elon is so upset, it's this. I mean, I don't know. Always follow the money. This is his stock. It's crashing at noon, right? I mean, the minute that Trump did that, everyone lost faith in Tesla, right? The minute Trump said he wants those EV subsidies, the value of Tesla tanked. Period. Like that. I mean, that's why he's upset. I do think he wants those subsidies in the big, beautiful bill. And I think clean energy subsidies are important, even though I don't like him. But this is why. Check the markets. Follow the money. Oh, and then Justin Wolfers, the economist, who's an economics teacher at the University of Michigan, said, it's just awful when you buy a guy a perfectly good election and he won't even do whatever you want. Exactly. I agree. That's really what's happening. This is one thing he was saying earlier. Call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. Time to drop a really big bomb, which, by the way, this is all because, wait, hold on. I guess I should show this first. The reason he's doing this about the Epstein files is because of Trump. Trump is on True Social attacking Space Karen. Elon, so this is literally a couple minutes ago. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his electric vehicle mandate. That forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. This is why he's talking about the Epstein files now. This is why. He's saying that $8 million a day you get, welfare queen, how about we take it away? Like, that's why Elon Musk is like, well, you're all in the Epstein files. That's why, because he's saying, I will take your $8 million a day. Elon Musk is the biggest welfare queen in America. And he's like, how about all the welfare goes away? Nobody should be here for this. These are two grifting, lying billionaires discussing how to divvy up our tax dollars and steal them. We should be while we all watch, they are literally like, hey, no, I want to steal American taxpayers' dollars. No, I want to. While we all watch, billionaires are now, there used to be shame in this country. Rich people used to be in the shadows like, don't remind anyone I have obscene wealth. Now they're just like, yeah, you promised me that I could rob the American taxpayers, and now you're taking it back. So I'm going to throw you under the bus. And I think it's hilarious that MAGA cannot figure out that Trump's in the Epstein files. Like, are you... Fascinating. This would be the end. And this is why, like, what I'm showing you now is like, this guy was posting this, right? You can see it at the top. This would be the end of the International Space Station and simultaneously provide no way to safely deorbit it. That's what, and he's replying. And Elon, because he's basically replying to Trump saying, I'm going to take all of your $8 million a day in welfare. in American taxpayer welfare. And Elon responds and is like, this just gets better and better. Go ahead, make my day. But this has been going on for like 3 hours, just so you guys know. Like, this, I mean, that's why. Oh, and this is just another screenshot I took from my phone. Oh, wait, where's my screenshots of the Epstein things? I really thought I added those. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me find the Epstein stuff. I'm fairly certain I added that to this presentation somewhere. Oh, here it is. Let me make it a little bigger so people can see. What did he want to miss? What I've already known the whole time, and anyone who can, draw logical lines of conclusion or lines of logic probably already concluded. Time to drop the really big bomb. This is what he said after Trump's like, I'm going to take away all your welfare. Time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald Trump. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Well, don't threaten to take away the richest man on earth's welfare, and maybe this will not be what comes next. Like, for being the richest man on earth, you sure are desperate for welfare. I mean, $8 million dollars a day is a lot of money, actually. Maybe I would fight over it. Who knows? Hold on, I'm just looking. Oh no, so that was the last thing he posted. And then, oh yeah, and I don't even effing care, and I don't, it's sickening to even imagine, but earlier, and then he pinned it like an hour ago, and I'm just like, here we go. Which, these are only his weirdo sycophants, so we don't care about your weird polls on your page of sycophants. But he said, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? What? Who would those people be? The people that get on their knees for billionaires? And like, I don't really know why you would be the leader of those people. That's very confusing to me. I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense. I don't think people in the middle of the country are happy with you right now, but okay. It just goes, billionaires are so out of touch, though. But you threaten to take someone's $8 million a day in welfare, and all of a sudden Trump's in the Epstein files. Which, who did not know that? Is anybody shocked? Is anybody surprised by any of this? People like, can you believe this is happening? Yes, I can. I am surprised by not one bit of this. I think there are recordings of me saying that this was going to happen. Something very similar to this would in fact happen. There is no way two malignant narcissists can hang around each other for long enough. There's only one God. You have to understand that. Trump believes he is God. He cannot have another equal floating around threatening him. Of course, Elon was going to end up under the wheels of the bus. And this will be, let's put it this way. There's two options, the way I see it, when I think analytically about this shit show, of where we go from here. First of all, keep tapping the screen. We should almost be at 200K. Thank you. I know we're all in shock. Let's take our rage out on the screen. Tapping is clapping. But the way I see this pretty much goes from here is either Trump chickens out and gives Elon the electric vehicle mandates. The benefit for us would be like, we should be moving towards clean energy, period. I don't love that Space Karen is in charge of clean energy, but we still responsibly as a country should be moving towards cleaner, cheaper, efficient energy, right? I know Trump is sweet on clean coal and thinks it's 1922, but I don't think that's necessarily the future. Or Trump is really about to just snip this in the bud and throw the richest man in the world under the bus, thinking he's not going to fire back. Oh yeah, Vance has no idea what to do. He's the blood boy for Peter Thiel. Vance is like, shit, I probably have to leave with the billionaires. I don't know. Vance has no idea what to say or do right now, for sure. And I mean, quite honestly, if we, God, that's so hard because, yeah, I do think like Elon Musk probably does want a technocracy and to like enslave us all and is hanging way too close with Peter Thiel and stole all of our data. But at least his brain works. Like Trump's brain does not work. Here, let me show when I said I'm going to skip over this for a second, what are the things I wanted to show? Let me just show. I don't, I, when Trump is talking, it doesn't make I can't understand the words that he's saying sometimes. Like, that's how much, I don't know if he should be in charge of anything. This is while that German chancellor, after he does this and just attacks Space Karen, and the German chancellor's like, can I walk out of here now and go back to the weird little house you have me staying in? And this is then he goes off on some tangent about AutoPen, literally after admitting to using it himself. And by the way, I just want to remind you that a couple of days ago, I took us through the Constitution and the laws. No one has to sign pardons. Now, bills like the Inflation Reduction Act, you need to, I mean, at least it says to sign them. Nobody has to sign pardons. As long as I wish people had to sign pardons, then let's get rid of Biden's, let's get rid of Trump's, because I'm tired of all these rich people paying for pardons. So I really don't even care. But just to be clear, I really did a deep dive into it. They don't have to sign any pardons. So this is just Trump being weird. Or actually, let me say something. Not being weird, intelligently distracting, right? If I wanted, let me just give out a scenario. If I wanted people to not notice that mathematically I was robbing them, I was stealing from the poor to give a bunch of tax breaks to corporations and billionaires that had bribed me, right? I would do a couple things. Maybe I would announce an investigation into Joe Biden and say he was senile, right? And use Jake Tapper to distract. Maybe I would all of a sudden try to make the American people feel extremely unsafe and start talking about, revive the Muslim ban. And you guys, we need to be very careful. People can't come here anymore. You're all in so much danger. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain robbing everyone. That's why I'm a brown person. I don't see immigration as a distraction. I think maybe Trump is doing that. Trump is as long as I keep everyone exhausted, fearful, on edge, maybe I can grift and rob as much as possible. And I'll say this. I said it yesterday a little bit. The enemy of our enemy is our friend. Yeah, I don't see this as a bad thing, right? Because when you're in cognitive dissonance and also trapped in information silos, they're not ever going to listen to us. Think about how MAGA denies basic math. They're like, that's because you have Trump derangement syndrome. No, that's because I went to third grade and I learned how to do multiplication. Is really what was happening there. Every fact to them is an attack. You point out here's a spreadsheet of how much money Trump stolen, and they'll be like, how dare you? You saw Trump do it to Space Karen. Allegedly, they were in love a couple weeks ago, and now he's he has Trump derangement syndrome, right? Because he knew he's going to say something about Epstein. He's going to start airing me out. So I got to convince everyone in my cult, Space Karen's nuts. I'm telling you right now, Trump could not find Elon's not a rocket scientist. He is much smarter than Trump, though. Period. End of story. At least he's a forward thinker. I mean, Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, you're here's some basic math, Trump derangement syndrome. Here's a list of here's a list of primary sources to prove everything you're saying wrong. Trump derangement syndrome. It doesn't matter what you do, you're attacking Trump with these people. So that was Trump making his thing known, and it's going to be fascinating to watch because I don't think if I was MAGA, I might take this opportunity to jump ship. Space Karen is probably a much better leader. He'll be around longer. He's richer. He's saner. He could lead you, actually, he could lead a transition to cleaner energy. I don't know, Maga. This might be your chance to jump off that sinking ship, like just and swim for the raft next to you. I would. I don't like Space Karen, but he's definitely saner than Trump. I mean, they're all robbing you, though. Period. We're all being robbed. So whenever anyone wants to do something about these people who are now publicly slinging mud and being like, you promised I could rob the American taxpayers. No, you promised I could. That's what we're watching. And MAGA's too dumb to notice that. They're like, what? I thought daddy loved mommy. What's happening? No, they were abused. You were being abused. It's okay. But if you have to go with someone, go with the richer, younger, smarter parent that controls the cheapest energy grid. That's my advice for all you MAGA children in the divorce. One person will probably not be around long and keeps saying no one should be wearing makeup and then keeps painting himself orange really poorly. So, I don't know. And I'm neurodivergent. At least, like, Elon Musk's neurodivergent. At least he kind of has an excuse, for his behavior. Like, Trump is just an a-hole with no empathy. Actually, I don't know if Elon has. It's hard to tell when someone's neurodivergent if they have empathy. My therapist told me to tell people, sometimes my reactions to things seem inappropriate, but I do have empathy. Okay, hold on. And I have so many other things to, believe me, that's not all we need to talk about today. Hold on, I have so many things to pull up. Oh, wait. Well, first this is my brain. I want to show you this thing on, oopsies. I want to show you this thing on oil subsidies that, Robert Reich made this. So, and I don't know if he was like making this already, but one of the things in this 1,200 page bill, which MAGA, you said you would only support single subject bills. If you guys aren't hypocrites, then you would call out Trump for trying to give a bunch of tax breaks and favors to billionaires and corporations behind everyone's back. I was showing you the one thing Marjorie Taylor Greene has ever gotten right is being appalled by the fact that they didn't have time to read that bill and that for 10 years, no state can regulate AI. What the F does that mean? Truly, what the F does that mean? We can't regulate AI. And the other thing we should be very disturbed about now that this bill is in the Senate, these are the true, they might not be billionaires, but most of them have hundreds of millions of dollars and are insider traders. And now they're trying to give more kickbacks to oil and gas, give the military industrial complex more money than before. Here, Robert Reich made this video like an hour ago or something, and it's really good. It talks about the subsidies in this stupid bill, 1,200 page bill for big oil.
There's a dirty little secret in Trump's big, ugly budget bill. It's filled with massive giveaways to big oil. It's not enough that Republicans are trying to push through tax cuts that will predominantly flow to the wealthy, while making brutal cuts to Medicaid and food assistance. After spending over $200 million to elect Donald Trump and congressional Republicans in 2024, the oil and gas industry is coming to collect. First, Republicans' big, beautiful bill makes devastating cuts to clean energy. These investments have helped boost and diversify our energy.
You could say it's revenge on Space Karen. I don't care. Clean energy is our future. We have no choice. We have to transition to clean energy. Trump is pretending to have a personal vendetta against windmills. He was paid to by big oil and whatever he continuously refers to as clean coal. Sorry, I can't say it without laughing.
bill makes devastating cuts to clean energy. These investments have helped boost and diversify our energy independence and rely less on big oil. They've lowered Americans' utility bills while also creating hundreds of thousands of clean energy jobs, many of them unionized. The biggest beneficiaries of these jobs, Republican-controlled districts. Go figure. Second, the bill extends massive handouts to corporations that especially help big oil, such as allowing corporations to write off the cost of investments faster than they'd normally be able to. And the bill allows oil and gas corporations to pay the government to avoid environmental reviews, while fast
Understand, this is what Trump did in his first term on a smaller scale. He said, hey, don't worry, farmers who I've bankrupted with my stupid tariffs on soybeans. I'm going to go to big oil. I'm going to make them put ethanol in oil or in gas. So don't worry about it. We're going to put corn in gas. Then and the farmers are like, okay, because we're all about to be bankrupt and lose everything. That sounds like a really good idea, Trump. Then he went to big oil and said, hey, you guys, he's like the Pope. He's like, you guys can pay me exactly what he's put in this bill again. You guys can pay me for exemptions. You don't want to put ethanol in gasoline? Pay me for an exemption. That's what he's doing again. They want to pollute. They can pay for an exemption so they can pollute. They don't want to be held responsible for environmental regulations, whatever it is. They can pay their way out of it for, what did they call those in the Catholic Church, like in the Dark Ages? An indulgence, right? Like in the Catholic Church, if you were rich and you wanted to do something awful, like unalive someone or grape someone, you just paid the Catholic Church for an indulgence. And you said, hey, I'm going to do something real bad here. I just need to I need absolution. And you could literally just pay a fee and they're like, you are forgiven, my child. That is what Trump is doing. Everyone can bribe him, right? Give a hoot, don't pollute. That's funny. I haven't heard of that in a long time. But that's what Trump is doing. And I know we're all like, yay, like Elon said Trump was in the Epstein files. I'm just going to say it again. Of course, Trump is in the GD Epstein files. And not just Trump. Who knows how many effing people? Do you know what I'm saying? The same reason Trump's like, oh, maybe I'll pardon Diddy. Because God knows, this is the problem with people that have hundreds of millions to billions of dollars. They're all up to doing God knows what and covering for each other. And so many rich people probably have shit on Trump. That's probably why he's got to accept all these bribes. He's like, mutually assured destruction. And Trump probably thought with Space Karen that they were in like a pretty locked up state of mutually assured destruction. Like, if you tell on me, like I can tell on you type of thing. And I do think sometimes, I will say, and this is just me as someone who's read thousands of psychological studies, observing Space Karen's behavior. Yeah, he is a kamikaze. I mean, he's the richest man in the world. He can just go sit on an island with a private army. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that point, you're sort of outside the law, right? He doesn't have to necessarily remain subject to the laws of even America. So I think Trump possibly underestimated what allegedly getting punched in the eye by a 62-year-old economist would do.
Allows oil and gas corporations to pay the government to avoid environmental reviews, while fast-tracking permits and approvals. Even worse, the Republican bill leases nearly 300 million additional acres of our public lands and waters to big oil, while reducing the fees they have to pay the government to drill. This will harm endangered species, ruin pristine habitats, and pollute our communities. Altogether, oil and gas corporations will rake in billions of your taxpayer dollars thanks to this budget bill, and it will result in higher energy costs while polluting our planet and slowing our transition to clean energy. The big, beautiful bill is in fact a big, dirty nightmare. Call your senators and representatives and demand they vote no on this big, ugly bamboozle of a budget bill.
You know what? Like, can I just say something? And this is the truth. It's this easy. Like, it's just maybe I'm smarter than most people. But if I was a billionaire and I was like, I want to be the king of America, it's super simple. Deliver universal health care. I'm telling you right now, if all of a sudden, I don't care who it is, if it's Space Karen, if it's Trump, if it's any billionaire with force starts trying to deliver universal health care and lobbying for it, then you can be king of whatever. As long as I can go to the doctor, get a GD mammogram if I need it. Like, you know what? Well, all forgiven. Universal health care, willing to overlook the fact you are an insane person. All of a sudden, we are going to be very forgiving of all your very obvious corruption. And they're not, yeah. And also subsidize education. Do some of the right things. And God knows you'll still be robbing us, but do some of the right things. And that's the arrogance of billionaires. Like, or maybe it's MAGA, no offense. I don't want you to take offense to this, but your inability to do basic math or to read or to figure out what's going on in general, you've given these people the confidence to just say, oh yeah, we don't have to give these people anything. They're just going to keep giving us, paying taxes, letting us steal from them. They have no idea what's going on. Like, maybe you guys should say, what's best for me? And not just for you, but for your children, right? Free healthcare, free college would change everything. But Trump is trying to drag us back. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying for me, like, before, I think maybe this is the thing, and this is just my opinion from watching Elon Musk I mean decades ago when I was, or not decades, what? Okay. No, it wasn't that old. But like years ago when I worked in the tech industry, and no one really, he was not like this. Like, look up Sam Harris, who wrote one of my favorite books called The End of Reason. And Sam Harris, has come out and talked about why he will not be friends. They were like best friends. Like, you would see them strolling around San Francisco, like holding hands together, type besties. And Sam Harris is like, yeah, whoever that guy is now, I don't know that guy. Like, well, let me just put it this way. When I was around him in the streets of downtown San Francisco, working in the tech industry, I'm not saying he was sober. He wasn't, but it was not like it is now. If he can just sober up a little and like gain some perspective and think about the future, then yeah, I think everyone should back him over Trump. I'm not saying he should be in charge of this country. I'm just saying, like, right now it seems like they're in a war and there seems to be binary choices where MAGA needs to pick sides. The side of clean energy is the side Americans need to be on. The sides of stopping big oil from accepting bribes and subsidies and paying so they can pollute. Yeah, that's the logical side to me. Maybe that's why Elon's smart, right? He invested in clean energy, and that was the smartest thing he ever did. But, I think he has they both have a lot of issues they need to take care of. But we need to move on because I have so many other funny, insane things to show you. I want to show you Mike Johnson is literally pissing himself today. Mike Johnson still thinks, remember yesterday I was showing you those clips of Mike Johnson being like, I called Space Karen and he's not answering and it's super weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. Mike Johnson still thinks like if he texts Space Karen that he can fix this. Just this morning, like before this eruption happened to the White House, Mike Johnson's like, I'm going to call Space Karen again. And like, even reporters are like, why? He doesn't want to talk to you. Like, what are you doing, weirdo? Mike Johnson he's like, we were friends. Oh, were you corn accountability partners? Did you tell him whenever you got tempted to look at corn? weirdo. Sorry. That's my own ad lib. That's not real. Let me show you. Okay. This is this is becoming a thing. I don't plan on doing this every day, but Lawrence O'Donnell said something really amazing last night that I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to show them. Why is this so small? Did I do that? What is happening? Okay. Lawrence O'Donnell is brilliant. And he was like, Trump fears Musk. And listen, I agree with this, except for fears Musk until the problem is with, and I'm saying this not out of spite for Trump. I was raised by a Trump, but one whose brain works. And they believe they're God. So in the end of the day, even though they realize, oh shit, this person has something on me, like if I'm just quiet, like maybe it's all going to go away. But in the end, when a narcissist feels threatened, they will always come out swinging. And that's what you saw Trump do today. At first he's like, okay, I'll lay low. Maybe he's just going to be quiet. And then he's like, nope, he's not. I'm just going to start screaming insane things.
We have new reporting tonight that Elon Musk's last TV performance with Donald Trump on Friday in the Oval Office may have been less a farewell ceremony than it was the latest version of Donald Trump's You're Fired TV show. Elon Musk lashed out at Donald Trump today, and it may be because, as NBC News is reporting tonight, Musk had hoped to stay on in his special government employee capacity beyond the 130-day period, which the White House ultimately did not accommodate. And if true, then Elon Musk was effectively fired by Donald Trump, which could explain Elon Musk screaming at the top of his Twitter lungs this afternoon, I just can't stand it anymore. He said that because of his disappointment in Donald Trump. Elon Musk lasted exactly one business day before he exploded with, I just can't stand it anymore. Elon Musk was escorted out the door of the White House Friday before sunset. He stayed silent about all things Trump on the next business day, which was Monday yesterday. He made it halfway through a 9-to-5 day today before he cracked on Tuesday and attacked Donald Trump with these words, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Donald Trump told them to vote for it. That means Elon Musk is calling for shame on Donald Trump and saying to Donald Trump, you know you did wrong. You know it. This was the moment that all the watchers of Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been waiting for since Elon Musk joined the Trump presidential campaign. How long could the two strangest rich people in the world stand each other? Elon Musk declared today on day 134 of the Trump presidency, I just can't stand it anymore. And in response, the explosively rageful Donald Trump said nothing. And that is how you know who Donald Trump fears in this world. If you attack Donald Trump and Donald Trump says nothing, Donald Trump's silence is the biggest expression of fear that he has. Donald Trump fears not being able to get more money from the richest person in the world. Donald Trump fears the richest person in the world turning his money against Donald Trump's candidates in Republican primary elections. And Donald Trump fears the richest person in the world convincing Republican members of the Senate and the House not to vote for Donald Trump's budget bill that Elon Musk now calls a disgusting abomination.
I mean, is this guy, get out of my head, literally. Oh my God. Someone said, yeah, Elon posted about the election a long time ago. I know everyone thinks, listen, I have an iPad watching Elon's Twitter update or apps, whatever we're supposed to be calling it now. He posted about the election hours and hours ago. He posts like 100 things every 30 minutes. So you are hours behind the reality of what's going on with Elon Musk. And yeah, I already read that. I read the stuff about the election, but also prove it. Whatever you're trying to say, he's purposely being cryptic. Can I just give you guys some advice? Regardless of what these two are doing, it's not because they care about the American people. It's not because Elon Musk is fighting for something right. They're saying we need to steal more from the poor so I can get what I want, right? And big oil can get what you promise them. It has nothing to do with somehow this is all going to work out for us. We are being robbed by rich people. And yeah, I already talked about I posted the election screenshot. That was hours ago at this point. So yeah, like, no, I'm just saying, but here, I'm trying to think of what the easiest way to do this is. Maybe I should just text them to myself. Maybe that's easier because then I can actually, let me see how fast the cloud is updating. Give me a second because he isn't actually, you could tell. I'll say this about Elon because I am an expert at the clips. Like he posted really fast and furious and he's slowed down because I think he's thinking like, you could tell he's like, you might say something you can't take back. But all of this is he's just speculating. Like, cool. Trump's in the Epstein files. So do I. I mean, I know it in my gut. I think it's super obvious. Like, oh my God. But the funniest thing that Elon just did in the last 5 minutes. Remember how I used to tell you guys that Elon Musk has all these like alter egos? I think Special K probably has something to do with it. But one of his favorite is called Adrian Dittman. And like his daughter is like, oh, that's him. Like I know my dad's voice with a voice changer. Like it's creepy and pathetic. Well, right now, Space Karen is reposting Adrian Dittman. Like he's losing his mind. He is posting as his alter ego. And then Elon Musk is reposting it. Like he used to do this when he was really not okay. So that's how if I have ever seen, but let me just read some. I mean, this stuff's not, it's nothing groundbreaking since the last things I showed you. Oh yeah. I was going to just hold on. Let me check the cloud because if the cloud is updated, then I'll show it to you. Oh, maybe this is working a lot faster than usual. Hold on. Yeah, these are the things I just posted, right? Yep. Okay. Oh, I didn't post him reposting Adrian Dittman. That's a bummer because that's the funniest part of it. I just posted Adrian Dittman. Hold on. I got to do one more thing. Sorry, I didn't plan on doing this. I hate his X profile. I get anxiety that nobody should have this many thoughts running through their head this fast. It's not normal. Oh, he's threatening. He's going to trap the people in space, too. That's the latest update. He's like, oh, since you're going to steal my welfare, I'm trapping everyone in space. Oh, my God. And I just think about this. Do any of these people care about us, or is this just the richest man in the world and some grifter people whose brains don't work elected threatening all of us? Like, this is not. Hopefully it will. Oh, I did good. Okay. Okay. This is. So remember he posted the stuff about Epstein that I read to you, or let me show you again, because I feel like people are coming in here and they're like, did you see? Yes. I have seen every post for the last 3 hours of Elon Musk. You are not saying something that no one knows about. Here, let me get to this. So he posted the original thread about basically like time. And again, this was a response. Trump went on Truth Social. Here, let me just go back to those posts. Trump posted this, which basically he said he is accusing Space Karen of being insane, which is rich coming from an insane person, saying Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted. that he knew for months I was going to do. Well, I doubt it doesn't seem like he did. And he just went crazy. And then above it, this is where he threatens to take the biggest welfare queen in America's $8 million of welfare away. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Yeah, because Biden liked clean energy. I don't think he liked space, Karen, but he liked clean energy. So anyways, after that happened, that's why Elon's like, well, Trump's in the Epstein files, and that's why he won't release them. So in case anyone's wondering why Elon's doing that, it was a response to Trump. He said, time to drop the really big bomb. At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald Trump. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. And then let me get to the update on the Epstein stuff. Then he reposted this. The relationship between Trump and Epstein is well established. Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 7 times, though it's not clear he ever went to the island. Here is what Trump said about Epstein in a 2002 New York Magazine profile. Epstein likes to tell people he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or illicit substances, and one whose nightlife is far from energetic. And yet if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy, Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. This is, you can see, look at Elon posted this 1 minute ago when I screenshot it with that face. He's like, scorched earth. I told you this. I would not go in a chicken battle with the richest man on earth. That's probably not. Trump's really overshooting his hand here. In my probably back the F off and fast, especially, if I was allegedly a 3PDO, I might be like, shit, I have a lot to lose. People might find out who I am. And then Ian Miles Strong, who I cannot stand. President versus Elon. Who wins? My money's on Elon. I guess I did say that. Finally, I agree with this guy on something. This may be the first time we said the same thing. Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should replace him. Not Couch Boy, who is owned by Peter Thiel. Great. Then the technocracy can really be complete. Imagine literally just trying to usher in a technocracy where they use all our data to make us free-range cattle. And then you could see 4 minutes ago, Elon reposts this and says, yes. Yes. Like, at least you guys, these people are playing with our lives while we all sit here and watch. And imagine the German chancellors just sitting here like, I thought this day was about me. I thought I was going to get attacked by Trump. He's like, I thought I was going to be humiliated and accused of ruining America's trade policy. In the light of President Trump's statements, this is what I was talking about. He's threatening to leave people in space or whatever. In light of President Trump's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. I'm pretty sure he's about to trap everyone at the space station. What could go wrong now? What? Everything's going so great. Oh my God, this is actually really funny. Sorry, I'll screenshot this. You guys need to. Thank you. And this is the thing about all of Elon's little Reddit mods that he hangs out with. It's like, that's cool because Elon now needs something and is mad, then he's willing to say the truth, but you knew the truth the whole time. Hold on. Let me see if this is added to the cloud so I can show you what I'm talking. Oh, no, wait. I forgot to show you the Adrian Dittman stuff. This is creepy Space Karen's alter ego. He pretends to be online. The world's greatest fiction writers couldn't have conceived of a timeline like this. And then Elon responds to himself and says 100 laughing face. Like, can we have some sane people in charge of our country? This, like, it just couldn't be a woman because you guys have it more together. This is an embarrassment. Jesus, what a great time to possibly attack America. What the F is going on? Oh, I already showed you that. Oh, look at the cloud working so fast today. This is what I was showing you. So now, this is one of Elon's sycophants. He's always reposting because I have almost a photographic memory. Can I finally say that Trump's tariffs are stupid or super stupid? And Elon Musk said the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. Which, yeah, Elon, you didn't come up with that. Everyone that can do math has predicted that. That's what every reliable mathematical model has shown. Like, you're not a genius. Every mathematical model says we will be in a recession by the second half of the year. But this is his latest post. What is going on? Is this my job? Like, just to stalk people online? And I still don't follow Elon. I can't bring myself to do it. It still says follow in the top right-hand corner. Wait, what is this video? Hold on. I'm trying to think. I'm going to send this to myself because now he posted a video. Hold on. Not of him. Don't get your hopes up. It's not that exciting. It's of two people talking, but I'm going to text it to myself and then I'm going to play it. Hold on. Like, don't get excited. If he should just, where's Adrian Dittman? He should go live at a Twitter Spaces so we could all listen to him try to change his voice and embarrass himself. This is, okay, wait. Trying to get it to, okay. This is the video he just reposted right before saying that stuff about the tariffs being super stupid and sending us into a recession. Oh, hold on. I still want my face. I have no idea what this is, so hopefully I'm not going to get banned for playing.
Story that I read about him that really affected me, which was when he was talking to Bill Gates, and Bill Gates had just taken out some huge short on Tesla. It was like $1 billion short or something, and and Elon was like, "Why would you do that? Why would you short Tesla?" And Bill goes, "Well, I talked to my financial advisors, and I looked at the math, and there's no way it's overvalued, and so I'm going to make money on the short." And Elon goes, what do you care about making money? I thought you were into electric cars and climate change and saving the world. What are you doing, like trying to save a few bucks and betting against? And he just walked away in disgust. And I think he never talked to Bill Gates after that. And that's when I realized, like, Elon's a purist. He means what he says. Like, the money is a tool for him to get what he's trying to do. And so I take him at face value, which is the crazy thing. Because there are a lot of people who set these audacious goals to inspire people, but you kind of know they don't really mean it. Elon, I take at face value. So I really do think he intends to get to Mars.
Sorry, I can't do it. I didn't know that was some weird propaganda where Elon's like, trust me. No, nobody trusts you. I've seen you say one thing and do the opposite. One tweet. I didn't know that. I was like, I didn't know what this, I should have known. He's like, anyone who's ever backed me, I need to repost it right now. That's a neurodivergent compulsion, right? Like, get a PR crisis manager to control your damn Twitter feed. Okay, should we move? Can we agree for 15 minutes? We'll move on from this and then come back to it. And like, in 15 minutes, there will be like 600 posts for us to go through. Cause I've showed you guys pretty much everything. Yeah. He has, since the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of the year, he has not posted again. So, and I'm not kidding. If you guys don't understand it, someone counted once in 1 hour, he posted like 340 something times. You just don't understand what his Twitter feed
In
is
history is
like.
the election.
Oh my God, it's still, how is this happening to me? Hold on. And that guy's face on the left. No, no, thank you, sir. I said no, thank you. Oh, okay. I have so many good things we need to talk about too. Let's do, Jared Moskowitz was talking about Trump getting divorced, Trump and Elon getting divorced, and then Jasmine was amazing. And this is continuing today, by the way. Actually, I know where I'm going to start with. I want to show you something that happened in Congress this morning that I recorded. And then tomorrow I'll pick up like the rest of the clips from, I mean, the Doge subcommittee is a effing joke. Okay, that's what's going on there. Nothing. But what happened was the Democrats, who are pretty, most of the people on the oversight and accountability team, and then also that are on this Doge subcommittee are lawyers, so they're pretty smart. So they all showed up really early to this congressional hearing, and there was like 3 Republicans there, and they called for a vote to subpoena Elon Musk to come and explain the Doge figures. And the Republicans don't have the votes to stop them, because repeatedly the Democrats are saying, let's subpoena Elon Musk. Let's subpoena Elon Musk. Like, if he's saving us all this money, why don't we subpoena him, get him under oath, and then we can question him about all this stuff he's done? And the Republicans, who have the majority, block them from issuing the subpoena. So what happens is this morning, there's not enough Republicans there to block the vote to subpoena Elon Musk. And also, by the way, normally Marjorie Taylor Greene runs the Doge subcommittee, which is like a nightmare, but she wasn't there. She's late. So Nancy Mace is acting as the chairman of the Doge subcommittee, and Jasmine Crockett and like Ayanna Pressley are like trying to push the vote forward whilst they're all insulting each other. Oh yeah, Elon might show, who knows what Elon might do now. That's why I'm showing you guys this, because I was like, this is fascinating. But my point is, in showing this, is like, this is why I will always, the Democrats, I mean, their brains work, right? Republicans, they don't even see things coming, and they don't have the foresight. It was kind of clear they planned on doing this, they all showed up early, and then there's like 3 Republicans there. So first, Clay Higgins is like he's like mic'd up and screaming at Stephen Lynch or whatever, whisper screaming. This is the start of it.
I know. You're going to keep me posted on how the job interviews are going.
Which job interview?
Higgins, in case anyone's like, who the F is Clay Higgins? Clay Higgins is the Republican from Louisiana that believes that ghost buses full of FBI agents were responsible for January 6th. I think he was a police officer in Louisiana, but due to beating up too many people with no reason, he was removed from the police force. He's awful. And I think he punched last year in the 118th Congress, he punched someone in the kidneys. Yeah, that's who is talking to Stephen Lynch.
So we're going to keep posted on how these job interviews are going, please. Do you really want Elon Musk to come in here and answer your ass, man? You're real close.
Why don't you sit down and take the mic, and we'll have a debate on it.
Clay Higgins is trying to say, do you really want Elon Musk to be subpoenaed here? Do you think that will work out in all your favor? And Stephen Lynch is like, why don't you turn the microphone on and let's debate it? That's what Stephen Lynch is saying.
Let's debate.
We're suspended. Sometimes we take ourselves too seriously. So, I have a pretty good sense of humor. Yeah, and I always bring it to the table. Yeah. So, I think we have been engaged.
And then Clay Higgins is a coward as usual. He's like, I think you're taking me too seriously. Like, I have a really good sense of humor. He's like, oh, never mind. I actually don't want to say this stuff on a microphone. I was just trying to convince you to stop. Because what's happening is the Democrats have called for a vote to subpoena Elon Musk. The Republicans don't have the numbers to vote it down, and they're stalling.
Madam Chair, point of inquiry.
That's Jasmine.
Right. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the clerk here?
The clerk is here and preparing to call the roll.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you explain exactly what preparing requires?
She has to get paperwork. She has to get seated. She has to do all that. Thank you.
You don't have the numbers to win the vote, because if they vote right now, the clerk is there. If they vote right now, Elon Musk will be subpoenaed to testify under oath. And at all, it's very weird. Because think about how many times you've heard the Republicans say, we're so proud of the work Elon Musk has done. Amazing work. Why would they be terrified for him to speak under oath? Why? Think about it. Yeah, that is Nancy Mace, and it gets gross. That was the beginning of Nancy Mace being gross. Like, Nancy Mace, don't you have a bathroom to be monitoring? Like, truly?
We're in the middle of getting ready to vote, so we can't do that right now. We can do that after.
Is that the rule? Because the clerk has not been.
Nancy looks like she was hit by a car. I'm just pointing out, Nancy, not your best look. Like, take your sunglasses off your head. What are you doing?
For the last 15 minutes almost.
You're not recognized. Thank you.
So we're not doing unanimous consent.
Not in the middle of a motion to table and a recorded vote we're preparing to take.
Is the clerk seated?
You are not recognized right now. Thank you.
Okay, since we're sitting here in silence for the...
You are not recognized. And there's no point of inquiry. You are not recognized.
Okay, I'll do a point of inquiry.
Get her, Jasmine. Nancy's like, I just sat down. Does she still have her purse on too? She has like her purse on, her sunglasses, and she's like, Nancy didn't even get to put makeup on.
Okay.
I am seeking an inquiry to determine whether or not it is okay to put it into the record that at the time that this motion was called, only Mr. Gosar, Mr. Grothman, Mr. Higgins, Mr. Fallon, and Mr. Crane, along with yourself, were the only Republicans that were actually in the room.
This is not a real point of inquiry. You're not recognized on it either. Thank you.
Yeah, and so then Ayanna Presley, who is my spirit animal, goes after her.
Point of inquiry. Madam Chair. Madam Chair,
Is it for real this time?
Oh no, it's very legitimate, very for real. How much taxpayer money are Republicans wasting while delaying this vote to submit?
That's not a legitimate point of inquiry.
It's very legitimate to the American people.
Senator Presley said, how many tax dollars are being wasted every minute while Republicans delay the vote to subpoena Elon Musk while they wait for more people to get here?
Thank you. It's not.
Very
You're not
legitimate to the
recognized.
American people.
It's not, and you're not recognized on it. Thank you.
Madam Chair, parliamentary inquiry. How much taxpayer money was wasted when some of the Democrats didn't show up to work for almost 2 years during COVID?
I love.
Can answer that through many statistical analysis. Actually, we saved tax dollars. We saved tax dollars. We had a wider talent pool. In every way, remote work is more efficient than in-office work, which every statistical analysis shows if you understood math. But you don't.
Particularly one from Boston.
Also not a point of inquiry. Thank you.
Who are you talking about? I'm sorry, are you engaging in personalities right now? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
I didn't say anybody's name.
Who are you talking about?
This is not time for debate right now. Thank you.
Well, please. Yes.
I'm being respectful of everybody on both sides there. Let's be respectful of one another, please.
I'm from Pittsfield, and I was
Stephen Lynch. I'm from Pittsfield, and I was here. Thank you, Stephen. That's hilarious. It's hilarious, though. I mean, no one is going to put their money on you, Nancy. Just be quiet. Like, you're embarrassing. Now, this is like a continuation of a hearing yesterday that was absolutely ridiculous, where actually, I mean, it was Margarine was there, and she's there later today. I'll show you the rest of the hearing that's going on today later, because I saw it and it's absurd. But watch. So remember yesterday, I showed you guys Margarine was on the House floor for like 10 minutes being like, I would have never voted for this bill. I showed you guys like 3 minutes of it. She's like, I would never have voted for this big, beautiful bill if I knew this clause was in there about states not being able to regulate AI for 10 years. And then Robert Garcia, who's forever tormenting Margarine, tries to point that out and she flips out.
Do. Now, all our Republican colleagues might also want to ask Elon Musk about this message, which he actually just posted yesterday. Now, I'm going to read this message Elon Musk posted. It says, I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. And I'll emphasize, shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. Now, this was actually just yesterday. He actually posted this, what's pretty rough if you ask me. And on top of that, I would have printed it out. But just 20 minutes ago, he posted another message that says, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. And of course, we know the only people who voted for this bill are actually House Republicans, including every Republican in this room. All these Republicans here on this committee, they all voted for this bill that now Elon Musk is saying should be killed and is saying is awful. I actually agree with Elon Musk on this. It takes health care away from 13 million Americans. It cuts food for veterans and seniors, all to finance, of course, huge tax breaks for the wealthy.
Oh, it gets better. I love Robert Garcia and his blowed up tweets. I mean, he should get an award. If there was an award show for people embarrassing people in Congress, he would get an award. So no one's worried. Elon, it's been 17 minutes and Elon has not updated his Twitter. Just that last thing about the tariffs sending us into a recession is still the last thing he posted.
It's also interesting because Chairwoman Green...
Just kidding. 50 seconds ago, oh my God, he posted a video, that same video, you know, that we always clip all the time of, oh wait, puzzle piece. Jesus, I've really almost been live an hour and 45 minutes. Let's tap the screen and get to time flies when God knows what's happening. He posted, wait, let me just, I think it's easiest when it's a video to just text it, but it's the same video we all like use in our clips whenever we're trying to make the point that Trump's in the Epstein files, you know, where he's like dancing amongst women with creepy Jeffrey Epstein. Elon's reposting that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I think I texted. Yeah, I did. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Thank God I got this new iPad. Okay. I hate this. Hurry up. Sorry, why is this not? Okay. Get out of there. Sorry, I just hate when it won't be full screen. This drives me nuts. Sorry in advance. I hate how this looks, but I can't make it go away. And posts aren't loaded. Yeah, I know. Can we just move it? Okay, there we go. I knew if I just kept trying, it would work. Yeah, no one's going to be surprised. We've all seen this video a million effing times. It's just more, I guess this is how much those EV tax credits mean to him.
Of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. Donald! 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 The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein. More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president said,
when I tell you that this feud between Donald Trump and Elon Musk just took a turn.
That's how well my algorithm
of a Mar-a-Lago party.
Okay, and then, he just posted it with that same little look on his face. Wait, I needed to tell you guys, then hold on. I need to show you why I think he might have posted that. It's because, let me see if my cloud updated. Give me 1 second. I gotta show you what Trump's, it did. Why ever the cloud is updating so fast? This is convenient. Look at what Trump posted. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses. No, it's not. 1.6 trillion. It just say 1.5 over 10 years. Can you just stop lying? And the biggest tax cut ever given. Yeah, to billionaires and corporations in perpetuity. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase. Listen, the tax cuts for the middle class should have been renewed. And in the TCJA, he should have given the tax cuts to the middle and lower classes in perpetuity. If he gave a shit about people, that's what he should have done. But he didn't, because he doesn't. You know who got the tax cuts in perpetuity and are getting deeper tax cuts? The rich and corporations. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. Does that sound familiar to anyone? I'm just in between you and them. They're arresting me. I'm just in between you and them. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. I don't know, Trump. I'm leaning towards believing Space Karen. Seems like his argument makes a lot more sense. Your math doesn't make any sense unless you're a billionaire. If anyone here is a billionaire, or let's say has $500 million, $100 million, maybe even $50 million. Yeah, I can see it. Otherwise, I don't know. I remember when I made like a few $100,000 a year thinking like, fiscal conservatism makes sense now. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You have to be, none of this makes sense. Anyway, sorry, I just thought I'd give the latest update. Let me see. Yeah, that's the latest update on Trump. Who knows? He's not the one that posts every 5 minutes. Yep. And that is the last thing Space Karen posted. This has got to be the longest presentation of all time now. There's like hundreds. Sorry. I'm trying to remember what I was going through. Oh, yes, this giant disaster hearing. God, this is the craziest day of all time. You have to hear Jasmine, though. She was amazing. I want to get to the part where he starts talking about Elon Musk. I think this is it.
Because Chairwoman Green, I understand, now regrets voting for this bill, as she mentioned yesterday. Is that correct, Chairwoman Green?
Are you yielding me time?
No, I'm just asking if I think you say now you regret voting for the bill. Is that correct?
The bill actually destroys what you guys voted for the past 4 years, and I'm proud to have voted for that bill to fund border security,
actually,
to
Chairwoman
deport
Green,
all these illegals you guys let in the country.
Chairwoman. Chairman, yesterday you actually said that you regret actually voting for the bill. You posted after Elon's tweet that you didn't know certain provisions were in it and that you would have voted no if you had known, and so obviously you didn't do a thorough review of the bill. And I'm not surprised, of course, that Republicans in this Congress are now going back and forth on the bill.
Because she can't read, Robert. She doesn't know what it said until someone read it for her. Oh, listen to Jasmine. This is Jasmine yesterday at this DOJ subcommittee hearing, which I think this pretty much sums up when I was sitting there watching it. I was like, this makes sense. This is exactly how I'm feeling watching this. Oh, I'm sad. No shout out for the 15 love paints in TikTok. Johnny, I'm so sorry. Thank you for the super chat. I have like 6 devices. I'm monitoring 2 crazy people's social media. This is a separate iPad. I have a lot going on. So I so apologize if it's hard for me to focus on everything at once. I really do, because I do want to make you feel special, because I like to feel special. So I apologize, Johnny. Now, again, this is Jasmine yesterday, which pretty much summed up when I was watching this hearing. I was like, what the F are they talking about? Like, this is a DOJ subcommittee. They can't subpoena the person who orchestrated all these psychotic DOJ cuts that are going to cost us a minimum of $135 billion. So it's just people talking for 5 minutes about whatever they feel like. Oh my God. Hold on. Sorry, I had a lot going on this morning. Do I have the video? I do have it. Okay. For a second, I thought I didn't have the video.
Time I come in here, I really do want.
This is one of my favorite Jasmine moments of all time. So prepare yourself. I'm like, did you write this? Maybe she should, I don't know. Maybe she should do stand up, because I mean, it's all true, but it's just like, this is brilliant stuff.
Every time I come in here, I really do wonder, what is the point? Like, why are we here? Because it doesn't seem like we're doing efficiency, right? Like, have we seen Elon? No. Have we seen anybody that works for DOJ? No. But we're in the DOJ subcommittee and we're talking to everybody but the DOJ people. So to hear the comments about Stacey Abrams, it really got me going. And a lot of times when we come into this hearing room, it's all about politics. And it made me think that there was an issue most likely with Stacey, because someone actually brought up the fact that Stacey has run for governor a couple of times. And it seems like there's a gubernatorial race that's coming up in Georgia and nobody knows whether or not Stacey is going to run. So why not muddy the water if we can to hopefully keep a strong Black woman down? But again, I digress. So let's talk about the things that we could be talking about while we sit here in the DOJ committee. It seems like we could be talking about, things like efficiency or oversight. When announcing this hearing, the chairwoman stated the DOJ subcommittee would, quote, continue bringing long overdue transparency and accountability to those who abuse tax dollars. But so far this Congress, Republicans have focused their oversight responsibilities on things like defunding Big Bird, as well as attacking, of course, trans kids, because they're really the big threat that we have. We could be talking about how the Trump administration is ignoring these court orders, deporting American citizens, or targeting members of Congress for prosecution, or how Trump signed an order deregulating the cryptocurrency industry just as his family launched a digital currency. We could be having a hearing on how Trump fired members of the National Labor Relations Board for bringing a suit against Elon Musk, or how the Trump administration dismantled the Office of the Federal Contract Compliance while the office was investigating Tesla for alleged racial harassment, or how Trump dropped lawsuits against numerous large companies after they donated to his inaugural fund. We could have a hearing on whether Trump violated the emoluments clause when he not only, it seemed like he asked for a $400 million jet from a foreign government. Trump has put a for sale sign on the lawn.
According to CNN, he did.
Of the White House, and has allowed wealthy donors to dictate how the government operates. That's what we should be having a hearing about, but nope. They're here attacking nonprofits that deliver food to seniors and disabled folk, provide childcare and elder care for working families, job training for teens, and shelter for the unhoused. The Republicans and their witnesses have accused nonprofits of being, quote, radical and, quote, addicted to government money. And listen, I try to find agreement where I can. So I am going to say that I absolutely do agree with that statement to a certain extent, because there is a nonprofit by the name of the Heritage Foundation. And last time I checked, the Heritage Foundation, they are the authors of Project 2025. And we are living through the hell of Project 2025 right now.
Is she not amazing? That was just, I was like, can we just stop the hearing? Are we all ready to leave? Like, do we have to stay and keep going? Yeah, Margarine, no likey that. But you have to hear also what Jared Moskowitz was saying during this hearing. He was like, looks like mommy and daddy are getting divorced. He's like, I'm a child of divorce. I know how this goes.
But I mean, seriously, the Newark airport, that is the key example for the American people. You want to talk about how did we make government more efficient? We didn't. We made government the Newark airport. And by the way, now that the national divorce is happening with Elon Musk, and I'm a child of divorce, okay? I mean, who's going to get big balls? I'm worried about him in the divorce. The children always get caught in the middle, right? And so I just, if he's out there, I just want him to know we're rooting for him. Certainly, we've not made FEMA more efficient. The administrator apparently doesn't know there's a hurricane season. Wait till he finds out there's 5 categories. We're going to blow his mind. Nothing has been made more efficient by DOGE. No new technology in any of these departments. No lower costs. Hasn't happened, right? We promised to tackle the national deficit and debt. They haven't done that. They've made it worse by the big, bloated abomination bill, okay? I mean, Elon has turned on them, but he's telling the truth. The bill will add to the deficit and it will add to the debt. But
by the way, Big Balls has signed on he's a full-time employee, by the way. An article came out yesterday from Wired. Big Balls is officially a full-time government employee. The first wave of DOGE staffers was supposed to be gone after 130 days. Instead, core members of the team have signed on for the long haul. That's that 19-year-old little weirdo. You remember? I'm trying to remember his real name, because all I ever hear is people calling him that. I don't know which one of these is actually his name. Is it Edward Corriston? That sounds right. I can't remember, but apparently they're now full-time employees, which I find fat. That must be why Elon's like, they can stay and I can't, but it gets better.
listen, I ask my colleagues, point to me one thing we've made more efficient. If you want to drop the E from Doge, because we've not done efficiency, that's fine. We can rename it. We can always rebrand. They're great at that. But nothing has been made more efficient. Here are the wins for congressional Republicans. You ready? They're going to do a $9 billion rescission bill, okay, which they're going to get rid of Elmo, which the American people were clamoring for, okay, but they're going to add $2.4 trillion to the debt, $9 billion versus $2.4 trillion. And then they want us to cheer for them and give them a trophy like they're a 5-year-old at a soccer game. Everyone gets a trophy for their participation. Okay, by the way, these things I'm bringing up, Republicans themselves, including the chairwoman, have expressed their frustration that Congress has not codified anything at all. And so, look, it's interesting. Elon just retweeted this. When are we going to flatten the curve? It's fascinating. We're using COVID graphics and COVID slogans. This is the debt. This isn't COVID cases. Okay? And yet, my Republican colleagues who have always talked about the debt and deficit, I went out, I bought the debt clock that Thomas Massey wears, $99, by the way. I don't know if that's a great deal, but, you know, like 2-hour battery life. He told me you got to, like, if you dim the screen, it'll last a little longer. Wow, it's still going up. Doesn't seem like these Doge cuts, right, or this rescission bill have handled anything with a debt or deficit. And so, yeah, look, yeah, Elon is, we love dark Elon now. Oh, yeah, this is interesting times, right? right? And Republicans will say, oh, wait, he was a patriot. He left his companies. He was doing the right thing. That's what they said for 6 months. Now they're saying, well, he's just mad because he's losing his EV credits. He didn't get his Starlink thing. They got rid of his NASA administrator. Okay. Look, we got to do this together, guys, on a bipartisan basis to tackle the debt. I asked the Speaker to put a budget commission together to get Democrats and Republicans on a bipartisan basis to tackle the debt. But that bill should die. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
I love God, the Doge subcommittee. And like the worst part of this whole thing is that when they say Madam Chairwoman, they mean margarine. Like the day I thought we'd have to address her with respect is just like, can we all give up now or still? We have to keep going and pretending that this is all our real lives, like where margarine has to be addressed with respect. Like she doesn't address anyone with respect. Nancy Mace was being called chairwoman this morning. Shouldn't you be monitoring a bathroom to make sure no one who doesn't look in your mind like a woman doesn't enter? Like, please. Okay, I want to show you some clips because Chris Murphy, you guys know I love Chris Murphy, and Bernie Sanders and Dan Goldman were doing a ton of press in the last 24 hours, and like usual, they were brilliant.
Today on the Hill, and I wanted to just ask him. Elon Musk has tweeted or retweeted nearly 40 times about his opposition to the big ugly bill. By our account, maybe it's more now over the last 15 minutes. Who knows? You've been pretty clear this is an altruism on his part. I don't think so either. Tell us more about what you think is really behind it, and what, if any, impact you think it could have on Republicans in the Senate.
I mean, the entire administration is a grift from top to bottom. So everybody that's close to Donald Trump is close to him because they want to become rich and they want Donald Trump to make them rich. And that's always been the center of this alliance between Musk and Donald Trump, that Musk is going to get government contracts. Musk is going to get sort of secret exclusive access to the kind of data that he needs to get an advantage on his competitors. And it appears that he didn't get everything that he wanted in this bill to help his companies. And so he's throwing a temper tantrum. He's trying to burn the bill down because, at least for him, the grift is not as worth it, as lucrative as it was, just a couple months ago. So you have to understand none of this is on the level. I mean, this is all about a bunch of thieves stealing from us. And when the
I'm sorry. Get out of my head, Chris Murphy. Don't get excited by a bunch of thieves beating each other up, being like, who's going to steal from these people more? Like, that is what we're watching. Them publicly blackmail each other and say, I'm going to prove you're a criminal. No, I'm going to prove you're a criminal if you don't let me steal from the American people.
Don't get the cut that they were promised, then they get angry. We've seen this movie many times before. Quentin Tarantino has done it very well.
Quentin Tarantino has done it. I forgot about. I didn't even hear that part. Funny.
You know my theory, Jen. We can't be preparing for the 2026 election. It might not come. All of our focus right now has to be on protecting the democracy, about stopping the corruption. And so I'm trying to sort of model something for my colleagues. Instead of, raising money and hoarding it to spend in the next election, let's raise money and spend it right now on the streets. So, yeah, people can go to, my website, chrismurphy.com. You can learn more about American Mobilization Project. And if you choose to support it, that money's going to go straight to the ground to support the kind of protest that we're going to need if we have any chance of stopping these Medicaid cuts.
Good thinking, Chris, because honestly, this is the beginning of the end for everyone. And I think this is important because then he was asked about the travel ban, right? That went, whatever, which I see, it's a distraction, but which I think, listen to this.
The show I mentioned this. Trump signed a new travel ban targeted at 12 different countries. The ban is going to go into effect on Monday. It's a much bigger travel ban than what Trump issued during his first term. I mentioned it feels to me it's important for people to understand what it is. No doubt people will be impacted, of course, in these countries, but also an effort to distract from what's happening with this bill and Elon Musk and a lot of the disarray that's happening within the party and, frankly, within the White House. But what do you make of it?
Okay, it's so important we talk about this because this is the whole game, is that the actual agenda here is to steal from us. The actual agenda is to steal from regular Americans in order to pad the pockets of the rich. So what does this bill do? It actually costs money for 40% of the American public. You get poorer if you are in the bottom 40%, and the richest families get a tax cut of $270,000. Okay, nobody wants that. That's super unpopular. So how do you get that done? You distract people by making them think that they're at war with other Americans, making them think that they have something to fear from people who look different from them or speak a different language. This is what demagogues have done all throughout time, is to divide us from each other, make us feel like we need to be fighting ourselves, while on the side, they're stealing from us, either through legislation, like we're debating in the Senate today, or old-fashioned thievery, as has also been happening in this administration as well. So, yeah, understand that this is important. Anytime you ban people coming to the United States from other countries, it has a real impact, but it is chiefly in service of trying to get us all talking about that, or talking about the Biden investigation they launched today, or instead of talking about the centerpiece of this story, which is this bill to make the rich even richer at the expense of everybody else.
I mean, was that not the perfect? And by the way, this is last night. So before knowing what was going to happen today, this is, and a lot of it had, but you know what I'm saying? I think nailed it. That is exactly what this is. That's what Trump was doing. You're going to ban people from coming here from mainly countries no one previously knew were on the map. And we need to fear people possibly coming here from mostly countries that I guarantee MAGA could never identify where they were in the world. But we all need to be suddenly terrified. And then we need to be worried that a man that, I don't know, you're saying he was senile. You're saying he suspiciously just popped up with cancer. I know this. He's smarter than you will ever be, Trump, and let us out of the pandemic, the best in the G7. And you're saying we need to investigate him, all while there is a public meltdown going on of two grifters fighting over who gets to steal more American tax dollars. And we're supposed to pay no attention to the slow motion train wreck in front of you. Listen to all the dumbass other things I'm talking about. Yeah, no, I don't think I will. That's why I keep saying, I think we should never stop talking about the fact we're all being robbed. These people are robbing us, and they're like, look over here. Talk about something else. I just think Trump completely botched the timing, underestimated. That's the problem with narcissists. They always underestimate other people because they think they're God. Narcissists seem to not be able to track when another narcissist is near them. It's ignorance. I never would have done what he did. I would have fluffed Space Karen on through the passing of this bill. I would have done something. This is not the best plan I've ever seen. And hold on, I'm just thinking of, I wanted to show you. Remember yesterday I was telling you, because I'm very passionate about what happened with Ross Baraka, the mayor of Newark, and Alina Habba is trying to charge the representative from New Jersey with a felony, a black woman. Well, now Ross Baraka is suing Alina Habba. I have two different clips about this, and I need you guys to hear this, because now this is some fascinating retribution. And everyone, I've listened to 5 different lawyers talk about this case, and they're all saying oh yeah, this case has legs. And understand why Ross Baraka is filing a lawsuit. Because of discovery, right? Alina Habba's not going to make it through discovery. They're going to subpoena her emails, her text messages, everything she has ever said. This is a Trump sycophant, right? And that's why he's doing it. He's like, okay, you want to target me? Welcome to a lawsuit where you're about to turn over every single thing you've ever said. And I cannot wait. If there's one person I want to see suffer, it's Alina Habba is the worst.
In just the last hour, Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ras Baraka sued over this, his arrest last month at a Newark ICE facility. The federal government brought trespassing charges, which were later dropped. Now he's taking Alina Habba to court. The mayor's suit says he was subjected to false arrest, malicious prosecution. They violated his constitutional rights under the Fourth Amendment, defamation. Is there merit to this case?
Absolutely. And I think that when the public is processing how to look at this case, there are a number of different alliteration and P words that come to mind. Number one, this is principle oriented. In as much as I am an elected official, I had a right to be here. I had a right to do the things that I am trying to do. You tried to stop that. On principle, this needs to be addressed. And the judicial system is the appropriate battleground to have that happen. It's also political in as much as, look, you are trying to advance a political agenda. I'm also a candidate for governor in the state of New Jersey. And people need to understand that I'm willing to fight the system when the system does wrong. And that's what I'm doing the proper way here. But it's also personal in as much as Lisa's already talked about, from a defamation standpoint, you're not going to mischaracterize my actions and bully me in a way that I am now going to be portrayed in a light that is unfair to the public. And so I am going to fight back. So all of these things come to mind, the political, the principle, and the personal, but it's absolutely warranted and it absolutely has a basis to proceed.
I had to take a break from MSNBC, but that makes me miss Charles Coleman. I have not seen Charles Coleman give legal advice in like months. Makes me want to start watching MSNBC again. I love him. Charles Coleman's the best. And Katie Fang, because now she does she's a correspondent, whatever you want to call it, reporter for Midas Touch. She was also talking about this lawsuit as well last night.
But I have circled and asterisked punitive damages. A little ASMR. Punitive damages, folks. Oof. So, Alina Habba being sued in her individual capacity means that she can't try to claim, although she will, right? I mean, she'll file everything under the sun to get this thing dismissed. But when you act outside the confines of your employment, you don't get the protections of that employment, right? So if you do something outside of what your duties and responsibilities are, kind of, veer off that track of what your official duties are, you're acting in your individual capacity. And the way that the allegations are in Mayor Baraka's lawsuit are critical. They're saying that she had personal animus, not only towards him, but other Democratic officials, and that in the furtherance of her personal animus, she took these actions against him. And he's got a beefy lawsuit here. And you can imagine what the discovery is going to be like when this case proceeds. Because listen, this case will proceed. It will not be dismissed by a federal judge.
Oh, Alina, finally. It sounds like you have bit off more than you can chew by God knows how you graduated law school. I don't know what bar you passed, but finally it's all coming back on her. And just in case anyone's curious, it has now been, hold on, I'm just going to refresh because sometimes I say that it's not true, 30 minutes since Elon has posted anything. Trump hasn't either. So maybe they've decided to not completely ruin each other's lives over this. Oh, I wanted to show you. This guy's a misogynist. Scott Galloway, he's a total misogynist. I just thought it was interesting what he was saying, listening to a misogynist talk about Elon Musk yesterday on Piers Morgan's show. I don't like Scott Galloway, but it is interesting that this is his take.
Genius, really, in many other ways. I mean, do you accept, Scott, that he's a genius, or do you feel it's smoke and mirrors with Musk? Because when I watched him talk me through his optimist thing, I just saw the 10-year-old boy who used to write programs doing it on a massive scale and loving that. Whereas I think he's really struggled with the criticism he's had in the political arena.
I don't think you can deny his genius. I'll use Starlink on my flight to London in a couple days, and it's a superior product. I owned a Tesla. But somehow we've decided in America that innovation and money replaces or obviates or excuses depravity. cutting off aid to HIV positive mothers, deciding what veterans should get benefits, cutting off SNAP payments, which have shown to have a positive net return when people run out of money for food at the end of the month. I mean, I think one of the wonderful things about being an American, and quite frankly, for me, what it means to be a man and what I try to teach my boys is the whole point of prosperity is such that you can protect people. And I think that
he's such a misogynist. Do you hear it? Like, I don't like Scott Galloway, but he does like rip, like, yeah, we don't need you to okay, I can't do it. I tried. And yes, Piers Morgan's voice makes me, it's like it's like he's being electrocuted every time he speaks. I can't stand Piers Morgan's voice either. I almost tried. I recorded it and couldn't listen to most of it. I can't. Scott Galloway. Oh, that you tell your boys you're supposed to protect people. Starlink, there have been government investigations of Starlink. It's not better than Google Fiber. I mean, I guess if you're in a plane and you have no other option, then sure, but please, Scott Galloway. I'm sorry. I tried it. I couldn't do it. Oh, we just ended up on an F around and find out this is a Cuban man who feels betrayed by Marco Rubio's immigration policy. I forgot about this. Tennessee Holler posted this. Listen, sorry, it's just, as a Hispanic person, like, I do find these moments funny when they're like, I thought you cared about us and wanted our votes. Yeah, they wanted your votes. They don't care about you.
From ICE detention, Lara Gonzalez tells us he remembers hearing Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying this new administration would have the back of the Cuban people. He feels differently now. Ariel Lara Gonzalez is in ICE detention in Texas. Like tens of thousands of others, the Cuban couple entered the U.S. under the Biden administration's parole program. 2 weeks ago, in Miami, Lara Gonzalez went to what he thought would be an interview to apply for residency, but instead, ICE agents took him into custody. His grandmother telling us her biggest fear is he'll be sent back to Cuba, where he is registered as an anti-government activist.
Maybe they'll mail you to South Sudan, where you'll be kept in a cage until they sell you into slavery to some sort of military group in Africa. Who knows where your future is going to be? Oh, Marco Rubio said everything was going to be okay and you believed him? I can never get enough of these people. Oh, you thought you all were on the same team as conservatives? Can we just all laugh for the rest of our lives? Oh, this is Mike Johnson right before Trump did what he did in the Oval Office, like being like, I'm going to go call Elon right now. This was right before Trump did what he did.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get into details for personal conversations, but
You've already
it's ongoing.
You spoken this morning?
No, I'm going to call Elon right now.
Could I ask you, so I mean, based on this White House meeting, and they have problems with some of the tax and tips, the overtime, SALT, IRA, who's the Senate. I mean, it does seem like, it seems like you guys are farther apart than you would like to be, certainly than you would like.
Things are not always what they seem, okay? There's very fruitful conversations going on between senators in the White House and between all of us. So I'm just as optimistic as I've been from the beginning. I'm convinced we're going to meet this deadline that we've stated to get at the president's desk by Independence Day. And there's a lot of work going on around the clock for that.
Literally, this is like minutes before Trump unloads on Elon. He's like, oh, I'm going to go call him again. Well, he didn't answer your 5 calls yesterday. I don't know what you could possibly be about to say that he would care about today. Like, none of it, make any of it make any sense. I feel like I'm in the effing Twilight Zone. I feel like, and I'm still confused. Actually, I should Google this because that schedule. So he's saying they're trying to push the bill through by July 4th. But then, hold on, I need to see a calendar to understand this timeline. So what day? Hold on. July 4th is a Friday. Oh, okay. So I don't know. I need to see the congressional schedule. So I don't know. This timeline seems super strange. But then again, I think at the end of the day, either you vote with Trump or he runs you over. Those are your only effing choices. What do you guys think? Do you want to see more congressional clips of people getting run over in Congress? Because Howard Netlick had a really tough. You know what? I bet Howard Netlick is like, thank God Elon lost his mind, because otherwise, clips of me being embarrassed were going to go viral. Like Howard Netlick is literally like, oh Jesus. Thank God Elon freaked out so no one's laughing at me, because Howard Lutnick knows nothing about trade, and Russ Vought is Satan reincarnate. Like, it's almost like it's like when I see these things once, I find them so soul crushing. Hold on, I need to look up where this guy is from. It's like, I know who he is, but I don't. He's 60 years old. The 2nd District of Wisconsin. Is Mark Pocan, is he a Democrat? He must be. Can you guys just put what you are right at the top of your damn pages? Is Mark Pocan a Democrat? He's from the 2nd District. Oh, marriage location. I thought it said he's from Toronto, and I was like, what? Okay, I want to show you these clips of him questioning. I don't know if he was like acting as the ranking member, but so Russ Vought, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget, is being questioned like in the Senate and the House about this budget, and he's basically just lying over and over. And I've never seen, I know who Mark Pocan is. Like, I've seen him before. I've never seen him so annoyed in my life. It was awesome.
I think you said the president supports the big bill that was passed out of the House, correct? And I think you also said the president does not support cutting Medicare.
Correct.
Okay, so in the bill, there's a $500 billion cut that gets triggered to Medicare. So I know a number of the people who voted for the bill are starting to read it now and finding there's parts they don't like. You might want to take a look at that provision.
As you know,
that's okay. That's okay. I only have
you don't want the
5 minutes.
explanation? Okay.
I didn't ask you the question, did I? I'm asking you a question though. Since we didn't have your remarks this morning, I think we got them this afternoon.
It gets much worse.
To talk about that.
You support the efforts of DOGE. You mentioned Steve Davis, and I know we talked about trying to bring the director of DOGE in here, and that would be very helpful. Problem is, I just read he's also leaving with Elon Musk. So who's in charge of DOGE? If the guy who is taking over after Elon Musk, who just left, and he's leaving, it sounds like this is a bit of a circus. Who's in charge of DOGE?
The cabinet agencies that are in charge of the DOGE consultants that work for them are fundamentally in control of DOGE.
Oh, that's an answer only a mother could love. All right.
It's an answer only a mother could love. No, you dismantled all those agencies of which you speak. They don't exist any longer. Stop lying.
To DOGE, I understand. Is the federal government currently spending less this year than it did last year?
No, it's not.
Right. And part of that is because you've sent us a rescission package worth $9 billion that goes after Big Bird and Cookie Monster, but you've added $200 billion to defense and homeland security. You've also, the bill that you just said the White House supports is going to add, depending who you talk to, $2.4 trillion to $5 trillion to the national debt. It's going to make somewhere between 11 and 16 million people lose their health care. I know.
That's the reality. And at least he said it, is the federal government spending less this year than last year. No, they're not. Of course not. They've spent exorbitantly more. Trump has grown the size of the federal swamp, used all of our money like he did in his first term.
Going to make somewhere between 11 and 16 million people lose their health care. I know you said on a Sunday morning show no one will lose coverage as a result of this bill. Is that still your standing?
Which one of those would you like me to take?
The one I just asked. I'll ask it again. I'm sorry if I wasn't
clear. The bill does
clear.
not lead to less coverage for Medicaid beneficiaries. It has improper payments, and it leads to the fact that people who are ineligible because they're illegal aliens or because they're unwilling to
do not get federal dollars for Medicaid, correct?
That's not true. They get them in many different states, including California.
Federal dollars?
He's lying. I just want to be clear. And anybody can look this up on factcheck.org. There's no federal dollars of Medicaid that go to undocumented anyone, right? There are states that use state dollars to provide some sort of state-funded insurance, because as I was explaining yesterday when I was trying to explain to MAGA whose brains don't work how this works, like, we don't do it in Arizona, but we should, because your choice is provide some type of health care when people need basic medicine or they're sick, or they'll show up in the emergency room and they will be charged $500 for a Tylenol and we pay anyways. So by using state funds to subsidize and provide some health care for undocumented immigrants, what you are doing in these border states like California, states where sanctuary cities are, you are easing the burden on American taxpayers. Period. That's the reality. And watching Russ Vogt try to lie about that is fascinating. And just so you know, and I encourage everyone to look this up, and I once cited a New York Times article about it, Trump is punishing states that try to ease the medical costs of undocumented immigrants by providing using state tax dollars to provide some sort of insurance and thereby offsetting costs. He's actually trying to punish those states and take more from them for doing that.
Federal dollars using provider.
State can provide it. Are there any federal dollars?
Congressman,
how many federal dollars, then, since you're the expert, how many federal dollars go to funding illegal aliens getting Medicaid?
Congressman, because of the money laundering.
It's a number. It's a question. It's a number. How many dollars go to illegal aliens, federal dollars, for Medicaid? It's a simple question.
It is not actually a simple question, because Congress.
Your secretaries have a hard time with simple questions lately. I got to tell you, it is a simple. But you were saying that that's true, so we will. If you can get back to us with that amount, how's that sound? How much federal dollars?
I'm happy to get back to you about how the bill works and getting rid of the money laundering schemes.
So a lot of people disagree with you. The CBO disagrees. Going to make some.
Everyone disagrees because he's lying. This has already been submitted into the record in the Rules Committee, and the Republican chair of the Rules Committee has acknowledged it. Russ Vogt thinks he's smarter than everyone, so he can just lie.
CBO disagrees with your analysis. Yale and Penn said 13.7 million people will lose health insurance. You also said this won't increase the debt. Is that correct? The bill
will not increase the debt. It will lead to reduced deficits.
The Cato Institute disagrees with you. Moody's disagrees. The
Cato Institute is a right-wing think tank.
CBO disagrees. Senator Hawley and Senator Rand and Senator Collins disagree. Elon Musk disagrees. Virtually everyone on this side of the aisle. So you're saying everyone is wrong, but you are the right one, that this does not increase the debt?
I'm saying that all the watchdogs, including the Congressional Budget Office, use a skewed view of what the baseline is.
They were less than a few percent wrong last time on your tax bill when they predicted it almost dead on. So you're saying this time there's significant changes?
They couldn't predict a worldwide pandemic where inflation would rise that high. Like, it's the little discrepancy in the mathematical model is like a miracle. I mean, they were spot effing on.
And they don't know what's going on, and only you do. Is that correct?
I'm stating that they use a baseline.
So you disagree with the Cato Institute?
Yes.
And Moody's?
Yes.
And Senator Hawley?
Senator Hawley has a view as to the Medicaid programs that we are working with to articulate why we believe that these reforms do not hurt the beneficiaries that are involved.
I'm overturning.
It's unbelievable. Russ Vogt makes me physically ill. Like, truly.
Project 2025. You're one of the authors. You're on the advisory board. You work for Heritage. You're basically January, February, and March in a Project 2025 calendar, right? But you were asked this weekend about it, and you said, no, the administration isn't following Project 2025. So I'll go through lightning rounds since I only have 2 minutes. Just tell me coincidence or not. In the Project 25, abolishing Department of Education, you guys are doing that. Is that a coincidence?
The president's view.
Coincidence or not?
The president's
coincidence or not? That's all you got to ask.
Agenda.
Okay, I'll go through the rest. Any diversity, equity, and inclusion?
The president's agenda is
shifting FEMA costs to the states. Raising federal assistance, restricting gender-affirming care, revoking security clearances, stripping civil servants of employment protections, reinstating service members who refuse COVID-19 vaccines, banning transgender people from the military, a hiring freeze, withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sending active duty troops to the southern border, limiting refugee admissions, rescinding temporary protected status designations, capping indirect costs for university-based research, requiring disclosures of foreign gifts to universities, apparently not planes to presidents, asserting the president's power to remove federal officials, and targeting NOAA. Were those all just coincidences that they happened to be in Project 25 and they were just in the back pocket of the president since November?
The president has never been more of a promises made, promises kept president than we've ever had in history. He has run on an agenda. He was very clear on.
Imagine how dumb you have to be, like how dumb MAGA is. Truly, I mean, think about how collectively, it's not like 50 people, it's millions of dumb people who are like, yeah, when nobody answers a question, yeah, that makes sense. I must not be being grifted. Like, truly, the cognitive dissonance, the bullshit. Trump's never heard of Project 2025. Just every piece of policy that has been enacted seems to be inside. It seems to be written in it. This is the architect of Project 2025. Look up Russ Vought. He's one of the preeminent Christian nationalists in the country. He wants to repeal the 19th Amendment. He doesn't, he believes in coverture law. He is truly disgusting and a pathological liar. He is in charge and the CEO of the Center for Renewing America. Look up who this guy is. And for him to sit here under oath and be like, oh, I don't know, promises made, promises kept. You wrote all this, weirdo. You compiled all of it. Like, can anybody read besides me on Earth? Not MAGA. We know MAGA. You can't read. You guys don't. Now is not a time to start reading. Just keep being stolen from. Why would you guys care about your children or your children's children and their financial futures? Just MAGA, whatever happens, don't read. Don't figure out if you're being grifted or lied to. Just believe everything at face value. Promises made, promises kept. Big, beautiful bill. What could ever go wrong? Oh, and oh my gosh, Representative DeLauro, she has been a force. Like she tore Russ Vought up for like 5 minutes. I try to remember what other hearing did I see her in. I was like, she is pissed. I'm here for this.
You have also said that you want to traumatize federal employees, civil servants, as if inflicting trauma and creating a culture of fear and doubt will somehow make this government more efficient. Mr. Vought, be honest. This is never about government efficiency. In fact, an efficient government, a government that capably serves the American people and proves good government is achievable, is what you fear the most. You want a government so broken, so dysfunctional, so starved of resources, so full of incompetent political lackeys and bereft of experts and professionals that its departments and agencies cannot feasibly achieve the goals and the missions to which they are lawfully directed. Your goal is privatization, for the biggest companies to have unchecked power, for an economy that does not work for the middle class, for working and vulnerable families. You want the American people to have no one to turn to but to the billionaires and the corporation this administration has put in charge. Waste, fraud, and abuse are not the targets of this administration. They are your primary objectives. I thank you, I thank the chair for his indulgence, and we look forward to your testimony.
I mean, mic effing drop. And that was just like her like saying something, and then it just got worse. Like once she was questioning him, like this Representative DeLauro is my hero today. I'm serious. I got to figure out what other hearing I saw her in too. She is like, I have had it. I can read and do math. I'm not going to let people lie.
The American people, the Congress who legislate and enacts the laws, has to have the ability to understand what you're spending, how you're doing it, at what intervals, and so forth. And also, let me just say, this requirement, as I say, was debated for 4 years, including with you specifically during your prior tenure as OMB director. Your predecessor did comply with the law for over 2 years, and you followed this law for 2 months. What happened? Why did the website come down? Why do we not know what is happening? Why are we going back to those days of secret decisions being made by you and whomever else in terms of the spending of the dollars that we constitutionally enact here when we put these bills into law with congressionally directed resources that serve the American people?
I should explain kind of what she's upset about. This is the Appropriations Committee, right? Like, she is like basically, let's say, the congressional accountant in the House. And so Russ Vought, who's a monster and a liar, in my opinion, shut down the website so Congress can then monitor, like, we appropriate these funds. The only job of Congress is the appropriator of tax dollars, right? And basically, Russ Vought, after 2 months, shut down the website that allows Congress to see if all the line items, right, the appropriations, are being dispersed correctly. So they're completely blind because they're not dispersing them correctly. They're stealing them and doing whatever they want with them. And she's saying, you're not following the law.
Tell me what happened. Why did you change what you were doing for 2 months or what your predecessor was doing over the last couple of years?
Well, we had constitutional concerns with the provision. We had a veto threat against this provision in the first term.
That's not true, right? Understand, every single thing you hear out of Russ Vought's mouth is some carefully calculated thing to be like, here's why I can't follow the law. Here's why I can't follow the Constitution. It's complete bullshit.
If it was presented while the president was still in office, I expect you would have had a signing statement that said, not unlike our letter to the committee, not unlike the DOJ's letter to the committee, we have constitutional concerns with it. And it's something that degraded our ability to manage taxpayer resources and do the very responsible.
We passed a law, and with all due respect, again, I think the level of your honesty on your claims really shines through on this topic, and there probably isn't much more point in discussing it, but that goes at the very fact you make up constitutional issues where the Constitution places that power of the purse within this body and within an appropriations committee. Historically, it is there. But you make a decision as to what you want to do, what you think is Constitution or not Constitution without any basis in fact, thereby pulling down that website that allows us to see what you are doing. We have no way of knowing if you are carrying out what we have lawfully required the executive branch to do. That is our responsibility, and your responsibility is to carry out what it is that we have appropriated here. You just can't pick and choose whatever the hell you want and going forward, if you say. And I yield back the balance of my.
So polite at the end. I love her. And she's furious. She's my hero.
Would you recommit yourself to the truth, engaging with this committee, the American people, and the American people based on the respect for history as it actually has occurred?
We haven't impounded any money. We're under a programmatic review of federal dollars across the
You have impounded money. $425 billion.
We don't know where that number came from other than
I'll tell you, look at the tracker. We're following it very closely. And I would just say this. If people don't really want to appropriate and hold on to the power of the purse, then my suggestion is find another committee to sit on. Our responsibility is to make sure that we maintain that power of the purse and that what we say has got to be congressionally spent needs to be. And you do have a premise that in that bill, in the Empowerment Control Act, that allows you to come up with a rescission package. But what is at stake is the illegality of what you have done with impounding and stealing funds from the American public and the unbelievable consequences it will have on their lives and their families' lives.
Congressman, there's nothing.
The chair now recognizes Ms. Hinson.
Thank you.
Thank you, one person, for making sense during this whole thing. It's like, and Russ Vogt, I mean, he is a pathological liar. Like, his whole point, like, saying now, it's like, what is he talking about? He's basically saying, like, hey, I don't know. Like, I just think what you think the Constitution says and what I think might be different. Or I just think I have a constitutional issue that may or may not exist. Like, it's complete bullshit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But when I listen to these, it's hard for me to record this stuff once and then even replay it because I get angry. It's like, Russ Vogt is you wrote out your entire plan. You've carried out 70% of Project 2025 and still are gaslighting us. Some of us read it. Like, I can't believe this is where we are in this sad state of affairs. Truly, I don't know what else to say about it at this point. Hold on 1 second. I want to find these clips of Howard Nutlick. Howard Nutlick, who apparently knows nothing about trade policy, was being run over today. Oh, I found them. Awesome.
But it will take time. I view letting the greatest deal maker that the United States has, who's in the Oval Office, let him make the deals. He is making the deals. I'm working on them all the time. The deal for America will be opening access to markets that have been closed for hundreds of billions of dollars, and then charging and protecting industries which have been attacked by foreigners, like steel and aluminum, where the foreign governments, they give, imagine, a steel blast furnace. You think how that melts?
Yeah, but
they give free or very cheap energy.
Sounds like he's not making any sense. It's because he is not. If I've learned one thing of watching Howard Nutlick in the Senate and in the House this week, it's that he is an idiot. And by the way, his name is not actually Nutlick. I do hope it's Lutnick. It's just, if you invert the prefix and the suffix, it's Nutlick. And just on Liberation Day, when I wasn't sleeping and I was listening to economists be like, none of this makes any sense, I was looking at his name and I was like, oh, it's Nutlick. Backwards, but it's Lutnick. It's not Nutlick. Just technically, just to be clear.
They make it unfair. So we're just going to get to a better deal for America, and it won't take that long, but it's a better deal for America.
Well, I appreciate. I think many people would not agree with your assessment that the occupant of the White House is the greatest deal maker ever. I'm certainly not the greatest deal maker ever. I've never gone bankrupt in businesses that I've been involved in. So I'm not sure I rely on that, but I also don't want to rely on a single individual. But to my point, the advancing of tariffs and then bringing them back and causing, but how that goes to the predictability issue. I don't know how people can rely on what the tariff situation is going to be, even when the courts in the United States have said emergency powers expressed by the president are well beyond what was envisioned by the Congress. So on predictability, I would just say, because I think we'll probably agree to disagree.
We will, because Nutlick has no idea what he's talking about. And then it just got weirder. Like, he doesn't understand anything about trade, and things just got stranger and stranger.
For me, I have a pretty large trade deficit with my local grocer or my hairdresser. It's a good thing. It means I have money enough to get my hair done once in a while and to keep food on the table. It tells nothing about my overall financial position. Do you know when this country actually had a trade surplus, Secretary?
We've had trade surpluses. The president likes to speak about before.
No, historically. When did we have a trade surplus? I'm not talking about the president. Historically.
I think early, about 100 years ago.
It was the Great Depression. It was a sign of what was going on. It was during the Great Depression. That's a direction none of us wants to go. Tariffs. It's 90 days. We're going to have 90 deals in 90 days. Then there's a 90-day pause. Many of these tariffs, as they say, punishing. Tariffs on things that make no sense whatsoever. Where are we going to go with the remaining deals? I know of one deal that has been apparently resolved with the United Kingdom. We got 89 more deals to do in just a few more days. Where are we on those deals?
We are in the midst of negotiations with dozens and dozens of countries. We could sign deals, but they're only going to get better as we negotiate them.
That's just simply not true. Because as I told you, the American...
Actually, I promise you it's true because I'm doing it. So I promise you it is true, and I'm here testifying in front of you, and I promise you it's true.
And Mr. Trump promised to bring down the cost of goods day one. And what he has done through his trade deficit fixation and his tariff chaos has nakedly increased the cost of goods. The estimates are that for consumers in my area, suburban Philadelphia, $2,000 at least a year increases on goods.
Howard Nuttlick promises it's true, you guys. What could ever go? Howard Nuttlick says it's true, even though everything else he has said was going to happen has not happened. Why wouldn't we believe Howard Nuttlick after every other time he said something, it turned out not to be true? God, I can't imagine. Why wouldn't we just take the person who seemingly knows nothing about global economics, international trade, commodities, supply chain, logistics? Why would we not listen to him and take him at face value when he super promises that this time he means it? God, I hate this country. Johnny, thank you. You said love your show and love you too. All good. Sorry, it's just there's a lot going on today, so I know sometimes I'm like a little bit more focused. Oh, and then the banana had to come out. This is when you know Nuttlick should have just slunk away and. And then it's like, where did you have this banana? Was it just on your desk? Thank you for the $20 on Venmo, Christine. Thank you for all your hard work. I appreciate you. Thank you. And then I have something. I think there's either one or two more of these clips. And then I need to show you this clip I just saw on Newsmax.
What's the tariff on bananas? Americans, by the way, love bananas. We buy billions of them a year. I love bananas.
Listen to Nuttlick tried to imply that we can manufacture bananas in America when we don't have the climate nor are bananas manufactured.
What's the tariff on bananas?
The tariff on bananas would be representative of the countries that produce them.
And what's that tariff?
Generally 10%.
Correct, 10%. Walmart has already increased the cost of bananas by 8%.
But as countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. But the cost is on the American
consumer now and on the businesses with the confusion now. Mr. Secretary, I believe you know better. I believe you recognize that a trade deficit is not something to fear. I believe you know that predictability, stability is essential for businesses. I wish you would show that truth to this administration. And I yield back.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
Would you mind, Mr. Chairman, if I make one quick comment to the end? Would that be okay?
I'm sorry?
Would you mind if I make one quick comment to...
Like, absolutely not. Slink away in shame. If this was my committee, that's what I would say. But here we go.
Representative?
Sure. Please.
There's no uncertainty if you build in America and you produce your product in America, there will be no tariff.
We can't produce bananas in America.
Building in America and paying no tariff is very, very clear.
We cannot
Fighting
build bananas in America.
Time of the gentlelady.
Guys, we just need to build the bananas in America. This whole time, we were thinking wrong, and we need to build the coffee grounds in America and the sugar. We need to be building it in America, in American sugar factories. And that's where we've gone wrong this whole time, you guys. We need to be building bananas in America. And he was dead serious. He was like, hey, even though this woman let me off the hook and I don't yet completely sound like a fool, Can everyone just give me a few more seconds to just prove that I'm an absolute effing idiot? Like, hey, I might get out of here not completely embarrassing myself. Could I just have 20 more seconds to just remove all doubt of how stupid I am? Yes, yes, Nutlick, do tell us how are we going to build bananas in America? Like, he's like, hold on, I need to say something really quick. Yeah, we also need to build avocados here, because why didn't we ever think of that before? Maybe it has something to do with latitude and longitude. I don't know. Don't tell Nutlick we can't build bananas. I mean, this is the reality. These people are this dumb.
Sounds good.
I just wonder, did you personally, or your department, whose mission that is, have any problem with the president's recent trips overseas or the development of his business and his family's business around Bitcoin, meme coin, fundraising, or investor raising dinners? Any worry with the Department of Commerce, with the president and his family growing their own business while on the job?
My trip to the Middle East was extraordinary in that we came home with $5.1 trillion of investment in America. It was amazing.
Mr. Lutnick, I'm asking you, did the question of conflict of interest come up for the leader of the free world?
No.
No? I think you ought to have a team of lawyers take a look at that. It is grotesque, the way this president is using his office to enrich himself, his businesses, and his families. That ought to be something you're interested in.
It's not. He's just another grifter. Like, of course not. He's like, no, that doesn't bother me because I'm going to pick up the scraps of that grifting. Like, I'm the scrap collector behind the grifting. That's like, whatever scraps of grifting you don't use, will you let it trickle down to me? Of course he doesn't care. It's like, this is it. I was like, there's another moment where she just embarrasses someone. It's Nutlick. That's what it was.
I'm going to ask for your commitment to once again making the amount-specific budget documents, apportionments, how and where U.S. tax dollars are being spent by the Department of Commerce and its bureaus publicly accessible. Will you commit to doing that?
It's my understanding that my department is following the CR with precision, as is required.
No, you are inaccurate, because I'll get to spend plans. We do not have details on the spend plans, which the CR requires. And it hasn't happened. We have a lack of specificity it's more than 5 weeks after the legal due date. We do not have a detailed spend plan as required by the law. Let me go back. Will you commit to getting online?
Say it slower. Maybe you'll get it this time.
How and where the American taxpayers' dollars with regard to the Department of Commerce are being spent as is required.
Exactly. She is like the chair of appropriations. I don't just to be clear, this is a very powerful member she's like the head of accounting for the House, which they're in charge of appropriations. She is a huge deal.
By the law.
I will, of course, follow the law, but it is my understanding, as I've been advised, that we have filed precisely according to the CR's requirement.
I do not know who you got your advice from, but this is the Appropriations Committee. We're looking at every spend plan, and let me just tell you, the bare bones spend plan was 3 weeks late. Surely in that time you must have had time to put together a more detailed spend plan. This is false. The law sets out the timeline and the level of detail. What is happening is illegal and in contravention of what this committee does and it puts together. And if you can't make a commitment, I take that as no, you will not commit, so that the public has no idea no idea of what any agency in this administration is, how they're spending the taxpayers' dollars and where those dollars are going. I yield back and wait for a second round. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence. I'm going to ask for your
This hearing is probably still going on. Her name's, I was going to call, I almost said Rose, but I looked it up. It's Rosa de Loro. She is, hold on, I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm looking at, another, should have known, from New England, representing the 3rd District of Connecticut. Yeah, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's the ranking member of appropriations. That's why she's talking so much. This hearing is probably still going on. Nutlick is being Republicans are screaming at him. It's not just Democrats. So I was just like, I'll clip. Oh yeah, hold on. I need to stay on this before I forget. Oh no. Hold on. No one panic. Okay, it's back. TikTok Studio disappeared. I thought it closed. It's like, oh God, I couldn't see you guys. Okay, everything's fine unless TikTok Studio just shuts off. I want to show you this clip that when I was, okay, hold on. Can I? God, X is being shitty. Okay. This is 19 minutes ago on Newsmax. Because, let me set this up. So, obviously, and Trump, because I have one phone monitoring his social medias and one phone monitoring Elmo's, and neither one has posted again since the last stuff I showed you. And now, Fox News and Newsmax, and they're all trying to decide what to do in the divorce or whatever. And it's fascinating. And again, I don't know. Hopefully this is as good. I was just reading the caption and I was like, oh God, watching Republicans try to make sense of this is probably going to be the funniest thing we've ever seen in our effing lives. I'm sorry. And understand, I believe this guy's general point is, if you knew Trump was in the Epstein files, why would you let him on a plane with your kid?
Still love Trump, and I really like Elon. This is just a really crappy scenario right now, and I really hope these two can patch these things up, because I think God. Elon took a low blow by tweeting.
This is like a idiotic toddler in a divorce, except for toddlers aren't idiots. But this guy's a grown adult who's somehow I'm going to thread this needle.
And I really like Elon. This is just a really crappy scenario right now, and I really hope these two can patch these things up, because I think Elon took a low blow by tweeting that, quote, DJT was on the Epstein client list. I mean, something that he knows can't be immediately verified. Also, if Trump was on that island doing something illegal, after all the legal battles that Biden threw at him, if he had done something...
This is what I can't stand, and he's trying to make some argument he knows. It's not about the GD island. Do you understand that? The U.S. case against Epstein was never about any island outside of jurisdiction. It was about a mansion in New Mexico and a brownstone in New York and a mansion in Palm Beach, right? It's about what happened to children on U.S. soil. Nothing that ever happened on an island that is outside the U.S.'s jurisdiction has anything to do with why Jeffrey Epstein was in fact in jail. And I love how they all try to be like, well, if he was at the island. Nothing was ever about the damn island.
After all the legal battles that Biden threw at him, if he had done something illegal with Jeffrey Epstein, you would think they would have thrown that at him. No, they pulled out the stops on everything else. The only thing we can point to that was a known association with Epstein was that he was at his club once. And by the way, Trump kicked him out of that club because of reported bad behavior. And also, Elon, if you knew he was on the Epstein client list, why did you let him board Marine One with your son? Just asking. But the best thing for Trump to do now is to release the list, something that also our FBI and Pam Bondi have promised us.
They're just going to redact it, you losers. But can you imagine thinking this guy's I did something there. No, you sound like you could not follow a line of logic to save your mother effing life. That's what you sound like. What? None of that connects to the other things, period. None. It's just like, hey, if you were sitting next to your kid while Trump was on a helicopter, then what? Either Trump's not guilty or you're a bad parent. I can't. It's almost like listening to right-wing media will literally make you dumber. Can you imagine? This is the guy. They're like, oh, let's bring in the smartest person we have who's cannot follow a line of logic if his life depended upon it. And it's so strange. Like, you guys are the ones that want to uncover pedophilia, and let me help you. Pedophilia it's not unique to a party. Like, at first you guys are like, oh yeah, it's the Democrats. It's not, right? Pedophilia is a sexual orientation, right? And that's across the political ideology. And some people who are just predators, right? Maybe that's not their sexual orientation, but they are just opportunists who want to predate against people or young girls or whatever, who are opportunists. That also is happening. And again, it's not unique anywhere. Like, there are women and children being victimized all the time. And it seems like conservatives never want to actually catch them. They want to speculate about it and then accuse other people of being party to it. Trump is the one talking about pardoning Diddy and saying, I won't rule out pardoning Diddy. And whilst we have to hear you guys pretend to care about children and women, this is what the president of the United States is saying. Maybe I'll pardon this guy who read 10 pages of those court documents. You will be physically ill. Physically ill. And they're like, well, I don't know. I can't figure it out. Yeah, I'm shocked none of you can figure it out. You don't want to figure it out. Creeps. You guys are embarrassing. I can't even believe... We care about women and children. Yeah, exactly. Whenever you're about to punch down on immigrants or trans people, all of a sudden you care about women and children. You guys don't give an F about any of us, please. Can't figure it out. Thank you, Rhonda, for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you for your brilliant mind. I truly appreciate everything you do for us. Sorry I can't do this often. You deserve more. That is the nicest thing. No, I appreciate you more than you know. If I didn't do this, I'd probably explode. Plus, I always think learning like this is the best, right? Through seeing different clips. I wish teachers would have taught like this more. If there were more video clips and interesting things, you know what I mean? Maybe I wouldn't have always been in the hallway for talking. This is how I would have liked to learn when I was a kid. It should be interesting. Politics is interesting, and it should be discussed, and there should be lots of clips and discussion and screaming to keep us all awake. But anyways, whatever we don't get... Wait, I feel like I'm forgetting something else I needed to say. Oh my God. I can't even believe today has happened. I don't know what happened. Does it feel like we're in a dream? Not a good dream, a nightmare, but it's I remember what I was planning to say, and now it's just what is going on? And keep in mind, though, what we should always keep in mind is they're still going to rob us. None of this is about, hey, let's not steal from the average American to give corporations and rich people tax cuts. None of it. Nobody is saying that. They're all just like, hey, you promised me American tax dollars. You promised me I could grift the American people, and now you're going back on it, and I'm annoyed. Oh, which brings me to a good point. Wait. Oh, yes. This is fascinating. I forgot about this. Okay, so Robert Reich, our de facto cult leader, former labor secretary for Clinton and professor at UC Berkeley, was talking about this, like, which I think this is also this is what I was thinking of. It was being alluded to by people that when we provide, like, Medicaid actually encourages and helps people retain jobs, right? Because when you have access to healthcare, well, I'll let Robert Reich tell it, but by repealing Medicaid, you're actually making it harder for people to be gainfully employed. And I can say this, like, I feel like I'm an example of this. When I'd say I had to go to therapy for years because I was diagnosed with PTSD and all of these things. And it was very hard for me to, like, be consistently employed, even though I was really good at my job in corporate America and I made a lot of people a lot of money. It's just my mental health wasn't great. And, like, so I understand the concept of what these people are saying. When you don't have to worry about healthcare, when you have your basic needs met, when you have access to mental health care, all these things, it's easier to hold a job. It's when you do not have access to these things, it becomes harder to consistently be working.
Republicans are spreading lies about Medicaid work requirements. Here are the facts. 64% of adults on Medicaid already work. 64%. Many recipients work in jobs that don't typically offer health insurance and pay little, which makes Medicaid vital. These people aren't freeloaders mooching off the system, as Republicans claim. They're barely scraping by. And those on Medicaid who aren't working have a reason. 12% of recipients are primary caregivers. 10% have an illness or disability. And 7% are attending school. Despite these facts, Republicans are using their new budget bill to implement the first ever federal work requirement for Medicaid. But this has already been tried in the states, and it wasn't pretty. When Arkansas enacted work requirements, there was no significant change in employment rates because, again, Medicaid recipients already have high rates of employment to begin with. What do work requirements actually do? They kick eligible people off their health coverage due to burdensome and confusing reporting requirements. In Arkansas, more than 18,000 people lost coverage, primarily because of the hoops they had to jump through. If Republicans really wanted to put people to work, they would make it easier to access Medicaid, not harder. After Ohio expanded Medicaid, enrollees had an easier time finding and holding down a job. Healthcare access means people can manage chronic conditions, afford medications, or receive mental health treatment, all of which helps people keep their jobs. But Republicans don't care. The work requirements in their big, beautiful budget bill aren't really meant to put people to work. They're a shady way of kicking people off Medicaid to fund tax cuts predominantly for the wealthy. So the next time you hear Republicans spouting lies about Medicaid, know what they're really up to.
All Republicans are doing, billionaires are doing, are saying, we need to steal more. We need to take more from the poor, make them more dependent, right? Oh my God, I did not scream. I'm trying to remember who it was in Congress. Ew. Of course, it's the senator from Oklahoma, Langford or whatever. Discussed Senator James Langford from Oklahoma. He basically was like, stop acting like we're taking health insurance from people. We're just saying get a job and then you'll have health insurance through the private sector. Like, what are these people? They are trying to make us dependent. No developed country in the world are people deprived of healthcare. There's universal healthcare in every developed country in the world but ours. It's insane. And they're trying to make us capitalistic slaves. We are slave laborers. This is what Peter Thiel wants, to gather information about us all, keep us like free range cattle. And as long as we're doing what they want us to do, we can remain free. The minute we stop doing it, then they round us all up and put us in work camps where we then, like prisoners, where slavery is legal. We just go to a camp where then we have to do exactly what they tell us to do. Sorry, I'm just reading this clip. I'm going to text this to myself. I love Justin Wolfers. I think he's the greatest addition to for-profit media, the professor from University of Michigan, because he can make things so easily understandable for people. Like every day, every time I see him on whatever channel, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, it's like, oh, just saying more things that matter. Hold on, just double checking that Elon Musk has not put. Yeah, he's still. Oh, well, never mind. He posted once more. Wait, what is this? Oh my God. Yeah, this thing about Elon Musk is he does post hundreds of times, but a lot of it is him just being fluffed. I'm going to add this, but maybe I'll just read it because it's just someone, he like just waits for people to fluff him and then he posts it. It says, Elon's stance is principled. Trump's stance is practical. What? Tech needs Republicans for the present. Republicans need tech for the future. Drop the tax cuts, cut some pork, get the bill through. That's scary as fuck. Elon's stance is principled. Trump's stance is practical. You're all grifters, stealing from the poor. Like, this is when... Imagine, I mean, these are all his like mods on Reddit. Elon just reposts the same people. I wish I could do a statistical analysis of people he's constantly reposting. It's ridiculous. Truly. Imagine having zero empathy and being proud of it. Or actually, I'll just say this. I think at a certain point, you have so much money, you're so far out of touch with reality that maybe some of this starts making sense, or you don't even recognize how crazy you sound anymore. That's what it seems like to me. It's like, what the are these people talking about? How can you even say that with a straight face? I don't know. This day has been absolutely insane. I think I'm going to call it right now. I feel like my mind is blown. I feel like I have a headache. I feel like the country is going to burn down. And I think I'm just going to compile the... wait. Oh no, that's just the stuff. I think I've read everything. I don't think there's any like new updates. Now just Fox News and Newsmax are trying to make sense of all this. So they're all trying to explain why their parents are getting divorced. So I'll just find the best of this. Oh, let me just say one more thing, which I think I have a 2-minute clip of. And well, I'm trying to think, what's the best way to do this? Let me pull up the article. There is an article that came out in the Wall Street Journal today. So imagine it's Rupert Murdoch, right? This is a billionaire who owns the Wall Street Journal. I've said this, the Wall Street Journal has been pretty consistently doing real investigative journalism and attacking Trump. That's why he's pretty mad at them all the time. Here, let me open this. Oh, I don't have Apple News. I might have to. Oh no, I do. Sorry, this is a new iPad, so I don't know. How do you close these things? Sorry, okay. Let me see if I can. This is a Wall Street Journal article that came out today. Economists raise questions about quality of U.S. inflation data. Basically, what we always feared was that we couldn't trust Trump to report actual data, like economic data. They think he's cooking the books on inflation, and inflation data is much higher than previously thought. And this is on Apple News. That's the app you're looking at because I subscribe to Apple News, so I get Wall Street Journal articles through the air. But you can see it says Wall Street Journal exclusive. Economists raise questions about the quality of U.S. inflation data. Highly recommend reading this article, but also the last person I can stand to listen to. No, there's a couple, but on CNN, now I'm forgetting her name. She did like 2 minutes on this, and I recorded it so that I didn't have to like boringly read you guys an article. This morning, she was talking about this article.
Economy. Just today, Dollar Tree warned that Trump's tariffs cost the company an additional $70 million. And a new employment report shows U.S. firms are now hiring at the slowest pace in 2 years. Only 37,000 jobs created last month. That is down from 60,000 the month before. And Trump is responding by lashing out at the Fed chairman Jerome Powell, posting today on social media, ADP number out. That is a jobs number that's widely followed. Too late, Powell must now lower the rate. Well, the president and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis is going to respond to Trump in just a moment. But there's more data out there. I mean, if you're looking for homes, I mean, this is an incredible situation. Home sellers are outnumbering buyers by 34%. That is the biggest margin in 12 years, a dozen years, according to Redfin. And there are now growing questions as to whether the economic data that we are even getting from the administration.
Treasury yields, the mortgage rates are skyrocketing. People are trying to dump their mortgages and nobody is buying because of the recession. Why would people buy now? It's not smart, right? And the treasury yield's going up. Mortgage rates are going up. Auto loans are going up. People can't pay the rates and they're trapped.
From the United States government, which is the gold standard for data that people trust around the world. That's why our markets are so important. They're wondering if it's actually accurate. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal late today, economists are starting to question whether the inflation numbers are even accurate coming out of the U.S. government. And they say that is because of staffing shortages are affecting the government's ability to conduct the massive monthly survey upon which the jobs data is based. And the administration is also worried about the optics that Trump's trade policies could add to the nation's deficit, which is why, according to Politico, the administration delayed and then redacted a key economic report. They write, quote, the politically inconvenient data prompted administration officials to block publication of the written analysis normally attached to the report because they disliked what it said about the deficit. Now, that report projected a $49.5 billion deficit when it comes to major farm commodities like cotton and livestock. And to just state the obvious, there's been a long time where people look at, say, economic data out of China and say, oh, the government gooses the numbers. You can't trust them. So, and that's why their financial markets aren't as deep as those in the United States. And now we're seeing that very same behavior.
You're now China. No one believes us. They're inflating all their numbers. Trump's a pathological liar. No one believes us. No one wants to buy our debt. This is not good. And we've got the richest man in the world and a lying grifter arguing over who gets to grift the American people more. What could possibly go wrong? And MAG is actually involved in that fight like it matters. What difference does it make who steals from us? It matters who steals from us. They're all stealing from us. Oh, do you guys care? You have a dog in the fight of who robs us? I don't. I just think at least we may move to clean energy if Space Karen wins. That's the only thing positive I can. I have no idea. Trump's we're moving to clean coal. We're going to sink all the windmills to the bottom of the ocean. You can't even write this stuff. Anyways, okay. I will, whatever. I'll make some sense of this before tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I mean, you just can't, whenever you think it can't get any crazier, you know what I mean? Just never say never. I never will again. Because every time we think oh, we've reached the craziness threshold. And now honestly, it's weird, but it bothers me more that they're not posting more because that makes me feel oh, they're probably talking and making some shitty deal. He'll get his electric vehicle subsidies and then he'll get back on board with all the lies. There's no win in this for any of us. We just get robbed. Regardless of anything. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I shall see you guys tomorrow. If you smoke the devil's lettuce, tonight might be the night. I need to go do a little reset with myself. I am losing the will to think any longer. I need to check out for a few hours and then I'll be fine. Exactly. Everyone's like, let's all just become comfortably numb for a few hours. And then we'll just reset and we'll fight on. But for real, I just need to stop thinking about this because this is embarrassing. And somewhere the Chancellor of Germany is spending the night in DC. Like, what the F is going on here? It's